Hello?
What's going on? Still no audio. What the hell?
Who?
I
For
hear
who?
you.
What?
I got you.
I love
See,
that
he's
we
playing with our
start
emotions.
and all of our shows with audio technical difficulties.
We should
It's
just
almost
start calling
like
the show
we should
Technical
use
Difficulties.
something different to produce everything. But Restream is so easy. What's
I the
going
only
on?
one- Was I the
Well-
only one dancing in the background while we were watching that little thing? Because that beat was
Oh, shit.
just
Through
yes.
this mesh, I
I
can't
was
read.
shaking. I was
Royal-
about to start twerking.
Royalty-free beats. Oh, I love them. I'm
Hell
just
yeah.
I just need a whole mixtape of nothing but royalty-free beats.
You know, I know this guy. He's in in the channel, and he does music. I'm not going to say any names, Bonley, but maybe he could help you, Bonley. I don't know. I'm not going to say any names.
I could.
I can
I
definitely
could
help. Zay didn't want to disclose who she was talking about. I'm gonna come out of this.
So wait, do we introduce ourselves anymore? Or-
Welcome
Yes, we do.
to Council's Corner. I'm Kitty, or Kitty, or no, just Kitty. Just Kitty.
Kitty. Kitty.
Kitty!
I'm MetaQuester.
Kitty's French today.
I'm Budo.
I guess you might as well be at this
I'm
point.
gonna
Nobody's
clip
gonna
that
know the
audio
difference.
over a clip of
Maldo!
video
No, I'm
later
Zay.
on.
I said I was Zay.
Bone Lee, what's up? Good to see you guys.
I'm Kay.
I'm Budo and I'm having camera difficulties. Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
I'm neat. I have a logo.
Did you try turning it off and back on again?
Have you tried hitting it?
Not
And
the
I'm
whole
guessing-
computer, but
I'm guessing
Blow
Sir
on it.
Maldo's also having issues. Yeah,
I had
blowing it
And then
and
push
plug it back in.
Okay, Kitty, blowjobs does not fix everything. Just want you to know that.
You would
Most
be
things.
surprised, okay?
I would
Most
say most
things, yeah.
Lots of things.
My bad. I'm a female, so yeah. Okay. See
I-
what you guys do to Maldo? He's
I
being
broke
shy
into it.
today.
I guess.
This
I'm breaking
evening.
everything.
You might have to turn it off and back on again, Budo.
You mean
I
the
had
whole
the
Like-
same
computer?
issues.
I'm
Yeah.
not just trying to get rid of you. Like, you
Yeah, I
and
can-
Maldo,
Yeah.
you
Okay,
both might
so-
have to do a reboot.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a
It's an awesome
reboot.
time
I'll
to
be right
figure
back,
this out,
okay,
guys.
everybody?
We're going
Yeah.
to talk about
Yeah.
lots of fun stuff while you're
So,
I'm
gone.
gonna hold
No,
my
we're gonna
breath
talk
until
about-
Budo
We're gonna
comes
start
back.
the whole.
Okay. I'll be
We're
right
gonna
back.
start our secret
Let
event
me
that we've
know-
been planning to do when you have issues eventually. All right, everyone.
Okay,
I said we
Budo just
talked about
left.
them.
That thing we've been planning to do when Budo drops off stream. We need to do it right now.
We had a plan.
I'm gonna hold my breath
We
until
didn't
he
have
comes
no
back.
plan. What if I turn green like him? God, look at his lips. His lips are so like. Do you see his little lips? Oh, look at those lips! Speaking of lips, Meta, why don't we have lips yet?
Oh, there's a decent reason.
I don't
Can't
think
get them
there
to
really
fucking
is a
stay
decent.
on.
What you do is get some Velcro and just right there.
Do I look that crafty to you?
You have googly eyes. Yes. Look at Kitty. He's getting darker than us. Well, damn. I knew he was always. I always knew he was black. But Bonley's not getting any color though.
Only
That
being
concerns me.
smart. He's holding his breath.
What baby?
By the way,
He
This
did.
this is
I said,
exactly
no.
what we
Time.
talked about doing. Bonley was supposed to hold
Oh
his breath.
no.
Zay was supposed to talk, and Kay was supposed to react, and I was supposed to comment on it. This is the plan. Everyone is doing exactly
was the
their
plan.
part. This is amazing.
Does anybody worry about those two not breathing for so long?
I
Anybody?
know. It's been a good
They're probably breathing for their nose.
cheaters.
Oh no, Kitty's turning colors. You know, this is a clear indication. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna mute myself.
Call for help.
Hey,
Anyways,
Budo.
guys,
The fuck is Budo? Trying to kill me?
So, do you guys go underwater a lot?
My face hurts.
You should.
It's killing me. But
Why did you even try to do that? You told him to reset his computer. You can't hold your breath for like 3 minutes. Are you kidding?
Sure you can.
No, you
If he had a better computer, we could.
Yeah, if you had a better one, that would be.
Not my fault. He's got a
Where's
shitty
the-
computer.
No, I'm
What's up,
underwater a lot,
guys?
Zay, to answer your question. Yeah.
Underwater a lot.
Under.
Yeah, I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
I swim a lot.
True. True.
Do you
All
swim
year
more
round.
than everyone else? Do
I
you
think he
swim more
does.
than everyone else?
Everyone else, like,
I don't
here?
understand the context.
I'm just curious. Are you the best
Probably.
swimmer?
No. I'm a good swimmer. I do
So when
swim
I
well.
was in high school, I was
The
on the
best?
recreational swim team, right, for our area.
Fuck that.
They called me the fail whale. I was not very good at swimming.
Fail
I-
whale?
This is a little better than that little blue kid that sucks.
Damn.
to be clear, I was skinny as fuck. But
Hey.
the name stuck.
Kay and I went swimming just the other day in the ocean. You don't remember?
Nice.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
remember. Yeah.
Virtual reality swimming.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Because
My
this is a
heart goes
VR.
out to you.
Well,
That
this
made
is
me sad.
Oh,
this is a
that's
but this-
unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
guys. This is a VR show. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it's
Guys, we're talking
VR
about Mario Party in VR with penguins.
yeah. I love
Everyone knows it.
it. Oh,
Is that
We're all
actually
prepared.
It is the title. We did it. Great job,
How did-
guys.
what the hell does Mario Party? I missed something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to know, Kitty. What did you do to it?
What do they do to what?
Maldo wants to know what the f you did to the restream because it's not working.
What did I do to it?
We all
Mhm.
seem to be here getting it going.
Mine had
So-
problems.
It is weird that 3 of y'all had problems this week.
Mhm.
So I don't know between Budo, Sermaldo, and you. But you got in, so what did you do different? Because Sermaldo needs to do that.
I said a lot of dirty words and pulled some
Someone-
things,
Message him.
and I pushed some buttons, and I came back on. No, but I restarted. And then
Oh, you restarted.
I restarted.
So
Yeah.
How about
your
put
devices might have been
Sermaldo
hung
on-
up.
Don't put Sermaldo's block on there until he has a face.
Is it because he's black and you don't want him to be black up there? Bonley, do we
Um,
have to have a discussion?
Well, I think he's black and square now, and he has no face.
So was my daddy.
So if we're taking that all into account, then yes. Your dad is square, black with
He was
no
square.
face.
He was
was
quite
faceless?
square. Well, in the dark
Dad's
he
a
was.
Windows error prompt.
In the dark he was.
Well, it sounds
Is
like
that
you have the
inappropriate to
problem
say?
over there, not me.
That's inappropriate to say, isn't it? I'll be quiet.
Oh
It's
no.
only
Go, by
appropriate
the
for
way.
you to say.
the
so
part
we're
the part
okay.
that threw me there, Zay, was the description of square. I don't
He
know
was
anyone
very
that has
square. Okay, so
hard
in
angles
Okay.
on them, like
Is
perfect
that like
right
an
angles.
No, but
80s,
okay.
like a 82
So it's-
reference, like he's square, like he
He's
was
square.
like a nerd?
yes, he was just very, he wasn't into anything.
Oh,
he was just
yeah.
square
No, that synonym slipped
personality.
straight past me.
I seen it. You know what? It could be the green.
You don't know what that term is, Meta?
No, I do. I just went
does
like,
now.
like
Wait, right past your googly eyes.
Because I have a question, and this is the last question about ethnicity. Do the different colors have different ethnicities?
I have no idea what.
What?
so Mario Party in VR.
That is less. Believe it or not,
But
that
no,
actually is
everyone,
less
everyone,
relevant than what
everyone.
we're talking about.
with penguins. We need to
Penguins?
talk about the penguins
Dude,
part.
did you have like some? Did you have like some dream? Were you taking some shit and like went to bed and like dreamt this shit up and woke up like
He
with
did.
penguins in VR? Like, what's
No,
going
I
on with you,
vomited
bro?
words
What's
on
going on
Discord,
with Sermato?
and
This
you
is
guys
becoming
ran
a running
with it.
joke with Sermato's black screen. What the hell is going on?
So
Maybe he
this is actually the teaser trailer. We all had to sign NDAs, and it's super secret. But that's Mario Party in VR with penguins. But we have to show a black screen, right?
No.
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 Aw.
Oh no.
The suspense
That
was
is a
killing
damn
me.
shame. I'm hoping that Samato can join with just his audio so we can get him, Budo, and Neat up there with just logos. Apparently, Budo can't even try to sign back on.
I'm telling you, when I did it, it took me like 7,
So-
8 times.
I want to see how far we can go without talking about VR.
But it's a VR show.
Not today. Apparently.
Kitty, do you want to chime in? This is wait, not just Kitty.
That'll
Loaded.
show you what kind of show we're having. His googly eyes flew off his damn head. Alright,
I wanna
so this
hug
is the
Kitty right
greatest
now.
12
So-
minutes ever. Thank you,
So tonight,
I needed a laugh.
barring Sermaldo and Budo not being able to show up,
And he said that
we were
all of our
planning on
streams
talking
are
about all these boss battles.
Now wait a
Um,
second. Before that, do you have my little clip of a song?
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
There's
Budo!
Budo.
There he is. We're talking about Budo, overcome and persevere.
Not only is that Budo,
That's what I'm
he's wearing
talking
the
about.
Crimson tee.
Yeah,
He's
and he got the Bonely
t-shirt.
jersey on. He got
Nice.
the Bonely jersey.
And hold on,
Fan today.
let's
Budo,
talk
you're
about the
man.
elephant in the room, not the green
No.
guy. He only has sleeves.
Bonely's wearing sleeves today because look, I'm the man.
No, I didn't
The myth
even notice.
and the legend.
I'm usually not staring at people's arms like that.
I'm a legend tonight. Here, I'll roll them up for you guys. I'll roll them up.
Anyways, I'm glad I got it figured out. I actually had to get a totally different camera. It just still didn't work out research. I was like,
You
oh
went
yeah,
to
I've
the
got that
store?
other camera. No, I have
Now
a
we gotta get-
backup.
No, I'm
We
just
gotta
kidding.
get Malco in. There he
Yeah.
is!
Look at the
Hi, I
Malco.
can hear you guys.
We can hear you.
It doesn't matter.
Success. Oh no.
Can I retitle the
Frozen
show to
in
just
time.
shit show?
Yes. With penguins.
Hey, I did do a new thing tonight where we are broadcasting under podcast instead of just chatting.
That's a good
So-
idea.
Oh, that's a good thing with what
So
our
you did
content
fuck
so
it up.
far.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense.
Wait,
Yeah.
where
It does make
Oh,
sense.
Maldo left us again.
But real quick, before we get into all the VR stuff, I had posted that little clip of a song. I was hoping that we could play that real quick. Did you see it?
What's-
I'm not talking to you, Neat. I'm talking to Kitty.
Maldo wants to know if you paid the bill.
The bill
Yeah, I paid the bill. Yeah.
is good.
We paid our utilities
I
this
keep-
month.
Yes.
What month
Yeah.
we split on by, guys?
If we didn't pay the bill, we couldn't have more than 6 people. Oh my god, are you kidding me, dude?
He is the black square.
Broke it.
Damn it.
We are so close to Shamada's face.
I think we're just trying to be diverse.
Yeah, we need at least one chef. So,
Okay. Well,
anyway, while you're figuring out Sermaldo, do you have that song?
No.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't realize
play
you
that
were
song.
actually requesting one. We probably can't because it's probably protected. We'll
Well,
probably get a copyright strike if we play it.
yeah, music is
that
really
sucks.
heavily copyrighted.
well,
Yeah.
fuck them and
What
fuck
happened?
them
What is
all
it?
For that. No, my great aunt
It's-
passed away this week, and
I'm
she-
sorry.
That's okay. And she was a funny old lady, and she was like one of these old lady that was like really dirty and perverted and cursed at everybody. Super funny. And her and her husband were songwriters, and they actually wrote a famous old song that they sold to Jerry Lewis called a whole lot of shaking going on. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it.
I think so.
But it's a famous song. I'm sure you've heard it. Once it would pop on, you would clearly know it. But the funny part about it is that when they wrote it, it was called a whole lot of fucking going on. She told me the story. She said they wrote it, and it was called a whole lot of fucking going on, and they switched the lyrics from fucking to shaking, and then it became famous.
Do you have the version that she put out and not the ones that they changed?
She didn't put it out. They wrote it and they sold it to them. So they made
That was
it.
a double
wrote
joke.
It, they did
You know, the
it.
put out.
They put it.
Just saying.
Oh, that was. Nah, but yeah, I was hoping we could play it for her, but I guess it'll get our show canceled. So, oh well. But rest in peace, nice lady.
We'll do it after the show.
I didn't know you were looking for like a memorial type situation. I thought you
Did
were
you
just
read
telling
the
us a cool
comment?
story. I
did tell
did.
you a cool story. You're welcome.
I know. That's what I thought you were doing when you posted it. I was like, oh,
And
that's
I put the
neat.
song there. I thought
I
we
didn't-
could play it, but no. But you guys are right. We probably couldn't play it. That's how stupid this.
Well,
plan is.
now I feel like a total dick. Does everyone
I
else
know.
feel like a dick?
It's all right. Hey, it's fine. This is on par with the episode. We'll just keep it moving. We got Sermano's black screen up again. I mean, everything's rolling, guys. It's all
Kayleiki,
happening.
what's your favorite boss battle?
Is this the worst show to date?
That is a dick move. You know she ain't got a boss battle. Damn it. That's a dick move.
Come on.
That is
Let her
not
think real
right.
quick.
No, don't start. Don't answer him. He's an asshole. We didn't even set it up yet.
Which one is
So
Oh.
don't start. Don't even
I
answer
have
him.
one.
Don't even
I
answer
have
him.
it?
one.
Staring you down.
Don't
It's,
even answer until we're talking. Don't even answer. Don't even listen to him. His googly face.
She was saying it was in Tetris when you got to like line 370. It was really cool. That's what she told me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep,
know.
that's it. That
Yeah.
was it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is there a secret boss at the end of Tetris I don't know about?
Yeah, you probably haven't gotten it yet.
Secret boss.
Yeah, the truth, because that shit ain't real.
It's your own mental. It's your own mental state at that point.
It's our
Line
battle with the truth.
370. It's your battle with your mind. Can you keep it going? Secret boss is you.
Well, it's been a real quality show this week. You guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
There you go.
So, who wants to intro the idea? I think Bonley
We have
should.
a
It was
dozen-
Bonley's idea. Bosses.
So yeah, so basically what I was thinking is that you know, over the years in playing games, one of the biggest parts of games in general, especially adventure games, has been the big over-the-top boss fights. It's something really cool. It's something that people really look forward to in a lot of games, and it creates a lot of memorable moments. And so I thought we could take a look at some of the fun boss fights that we've had in games from the past, and then talk about maybe any VR bosses we've had or that we played, or what we would like to see in bosses in the future, and like what makes a good boss.
Yeah, I think like especially the favorite bosses we're going to talk about. We could think, would that work in VR, or how would you make that work in VR? And yeah,
So clearly
absolutely.
I didn't read it all the way, but my bad. I do apologize.
Unforgivable.
Sorry, my cat got in a weird
End the
place.
stream now.
One
Zadie
second.
needs to do her homework.
Hey, at least I brought something. She didn't even bring
Everybody
anything.
will be back in
No, hell.
5 minutes
But
when Zadie does her homework.
No,
Budo
I
just
want
left the
5
stream.
minutes.
He just walked off. He's like, "Fuck it, man."
He said, fuck this.
Yeah, he's doing chores. He's got better shit to do.
And he's got chores to do.
That's
Oh no,
what
is
did
this
he
shit
do?
glitching now?
Oh, he's green.
Oh no!
How did that even happen? How did that even happen?
Budo
Rena,
just outgrew
Rena, what have you done to me? What have you
What am I
done to
laughing
me?
about?
You look like Shrek.
Budo, are you trying to show Betty's
Maldo,
face up?
did y'all hear Maldo? Say something, Maldo.
What?
Betta, he took all your shine.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're not as green.
Guys, we are not supposed to be broadcasting tonight. I think
If you guys can hear me, I can't even click the buttons to mute and unmute
It's
myself.
Sir Maldo. Where's the
Oh,
voice?
We
of
can
the
hear you
sun
at least.
has entered the building.
And I can't hear you guys.
Oh.
Perfect. This will be great. This will be wonderful.
Just
Yes.
sit there and we'll talk
So-
to you in chat.
there is a
Just
full
talk
moon
randomly,
like
let's see what
tomorrow.
happens. But not today.
I
So
can't
we
see through this
explain that.
mesh. Damn it.
Don't private chat. We've got enough shit going on.
Wait, now I can hear you.
Oh, you can
Say
hear
that
us?
out loud, Zay. You don't
We
need
just
to type
added
it.
Shrek. We have a special guest, and it's
There you go.
Shrek down at the bottom there.
Are you sure it's not in the top middle?
It was so weird. I come back to the
Oh,
camera,
that's-
No.
I see it do the
Hey,
weird thing.
Hey, Budo,
This is what I said
hit it.
on.
Hit the camera.
No,
Don't hit
I
it.
don't
Give it a
wanna
little
leave.
tap.
I'm gonna
Don't
leave.
hit
Give
Just a
it,
little
just
tap.
give it a little
See you.
tap.
Don't hit it. Don't do
Tap
it.
that
Don't do
ass.
it. Don't do it.
Just a little tap.
Don't listen to Bowman.
Shit.
Because when you sat
Don't do
down, it messed up.
Don't
No?
do it. If you do it,
No.
you're gonna lose all video. You'll have no video. You'll be just like
It's gonna have to
Sermato
be
and me.
green today.
Oh,
Be stuck on a logo.
it's just
Anyways.
gonna have to be green.
Yeah, I'm just gonna accept
Yeah.
it.
Can Sermato hear us now or no?
I can, yes. Thank you for asking.
That's disappointing.
So,
Oh.
Naldo, do
He
you
was
see
trying to
how
talk to
great
you.
our
Talk about
audio
you.
video skills are as a squad?
What do you mean?
Dude, this is a server side issue. If we're having problems with multiple people connecting, it's server side.
Yeah. I don't know about Budo though. I don't understand.
Yeah,
the
I was
green.
gonna say the
Ah.
green screen Budo is not a server issue. You
Yeah.
can't blame him for that
He's
one.
just angry, and you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
I gotta differentiate from Budo. We can't both be green.
Okay, there we go.
Uh,
I'm here, you guys.
Stole
It
that
is
shine.
purple.
Say,
Oh.
I heard you, and you were right. All I had to do was swear more.
It worked for me.
Boom, nailed it.
Yeah, it fixes. And
See?
Kitty is purple.
Fucking piece of shit.
And then boop, it comes on.
Put it in its place. Put
Yeah.
it right in its place.
Fuck you, Restream.
Let these computers know who's
How many
boss.
of those
Fuck you,
did you?
Kitty! Everyone, for those who don't know, you can go to fuckyoukitty.com. It's a real website, bud.
Yeah, it is.
long
It's a
time ago.
real website.
Because he does shit
I wouldn't
like
go as
this.
far as that.
Okay, so when Willy Wonka tells you to spit the gum out, you're supposed to spit it out. Violet, you're
I
turning
love
violet.
blueberries.
Oh my god.
Did I miss the memo on like color your face
Yeah.
day? Like I just didn't know.
It's
really
a
wish
speed
I
run to
know.
get canceled.
I think we
We're
also
trying all the
missed,
different colors.
Speed run
There you
and
go.
get canceled.
Actually, you know what? I think we should start aiming for dislikes instead of likes. Everyone, if you like our show, dislike instead.
Did
I
Mondo
wanna see how
got
many
cake?
dislikes we can
Like
get.
I said,
Hey,
in like episode
Did
like
Mondo
3,
have
you
cake?
need
You
to,
have,
you
you're
need to report
so
us.
He has
extra.
some
Report
cake.
us so
about
Oh,
we
no,
can-
turn it around, big boy. You got some cake back there.
Cake?
Yeah, you know, booty, ass.
Booty.
So now that
That's what I'm talking about.
That one was for you, Zay.
K wondered. K wondered.
Well, if we haven't
Oh,
jumped the
okay.
shark
yeah.
already,
Blame it on me.
Hey,
So about,
is this not
about
the
those penguins.
Sir Maldo smacks his ass show?
I love
Did I
them.
show up to the wrong
it
show?
might as well
I think
be.
we can get
It might
donations
as well
off that.
be. It's the Sermano smacks his ass.
Hater.
Yeah, we got a hater over here.
It's the
Kitty doesn't
Sermano
wanna see
smacks
anymore?
his ass, so with
You gotta pay me. I'm an opposite
No.
stripper. You gotta pay me to keep the clothes on.
That sounds more like a shakedown. Yeah,
Yeah, well, you better hurry.
I think that's a crime. I'm pretty sure that's like sexual harassment.
I'm gonna do it, guys. I'll do it. I'll do
Good luck
it.
serving me though.
What's wrong with us this evening? That's what I want to know.
So,
Yeah, what
so
strain is this?
Kitty said, "Motherfucker, where'd you go?"
That was perfect.
Oh
timing.
god, if Kitty goes black screen, we really have a fucking problem.
Kitty. So it's on the topic of translating our favorite
Penguins?
games into VR and some of those boss fights mechanics and otherwise. Do you have any games that come to mind that you've played in their boss fights?
Yes.
I would love it if you told me those in a regimented order that is natural and fluid.
Don't do it regimentally. Don't listen to him.
Well, I mean, everyone, you guys, I mean, we've been talking about it for 3 weeks now. You know, and I don't want to steal any of Neat's thunder because we share a lot of the same boss fights here. But most of my boss fights come from console games. I didn't do a whole lot of PC, and you know, the first fight that comes to my mind, honestly, is Van Cleef in World of Warcraft. It's the first, you know, partied raid I did in a video game. I mean, I guess it wasn't a raid, but it was a dungeon. That was the first thing I did, and I remember like that's the moment I fell in love with World of Warcraft.
Which boss?
Van Cleef, Dead Mines, DM,
Oh,
the original
Dead
DM before
Gotcha.
Dire Maul.
yeah.
And you know, it really solidified that whole MMO aspect of the MMORPG, because you had dedicated roles in a game, you had these a mission to accomplish, and you know, it was one of those, I got so excited because you're playing with other people, and you know, my first time I was absolute dog shit.
What class were you?
Druid.
Oh shit. What were you doing though? DPS or what? Druid could be.
I was trying to be a healer at like
Oh,
level
man.
14 in Dead Mines as a druid. Oh,
That
dude, it
first time you're
was.
playing as a dedicated
Say-
like tank or healer or whatever is so crazy.
Say them. Just say it. Stop
I
typing.
agree that it adds a whole lot to the gaming experience to all of a sudden all you have to worry about is healing other people, or all you got to worry about is keeping aggro. Other people do the damage.
But yeah, that, I mean, in my history of gaming, that's one of those points that really, when I think boss battle, that's the first thing I think about. And I mean, as you're going through that dungeon, you fight like this 2-headed ogre, you fight a little goblin chef, and then you fight a pirate captain. But there's another fight in there too.
There's a goblin in the robot thing that chases you around.
That's
Pretty
right,
scary.
the goblin and the robot. And you know, it really, again, there's this whole idea of the boss fights and all these mechanics you have to figure out, because you can't just go and just beat the shit out of them. You know, you've got to hit the right buttons, or you've got to hide behind the right structures. And then, you know, in all the early console games, you had, you know, a body part lights up. That's the body part you got to break, right? Whether you're talking, I'm just not reading the chat, so I don't even know what y'all have in there, because all I can do is
All
ignore
they're
it
trying
so
to
that
do
I
is
don't shut
distract you
myself
anyway.
up.
You're not
Yeah.
missing anything of value.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Waldo, everything I fucking say is of value.
No, it's not, because you don't say it. You keep
I was gonna
typing it.
say, but okay, but
I was
Minnesota
listening to
had
Kitty
it
talk
good.
about that boss fight.
I'm torn
I was
because like
wondering
the
if
devil's
Kitty
on
had
one
image
side
of the
and
boss
angels
fight. He
on
might
the
be able
other.
to show so we can see what the boss looks like. I'm curious to see.
So
Oh,
so
yeah, I'm
honestly,
interested, too.
I was digging for clips and everything, and there aren't any good clips. The clips they have for it are from, so they've re-released WoW Classic,
Like 19.
and it doesn't look or feel anything like it did back then, and so I just didn't want to pull them up. But it
Like your
really,
gamer nostalgia. Why do you've gone
yeah,
to
no,
the
seriously.
dark side of the Force.
If you can't remember it, then I'm sorry. There's just no hope for you. But
It's really
I mean,
interesting looking back at old games because you totally up the graphics in your memory. Like when you go back and look at it compared, because I just bought Diablo 2 Resurrected. Diablo 2 was one of the first RPGs I ever played, and before pressing the button to downgrade it back to the old graphics, I was like, yeah, this is what it looks like, right? And then I pressed the button and I was like, oh, gross. Terrible.
well, and what surprises me is how unplayable it is. You know, like I've got all the emulators and everything, and I go back to play some of the old games, and it's like, how could you even tell what you were doing? It's crazy. I have, you know, to completely sidetrack our discussion yet stay on topic.
Is it though?
Why would
They
we
actually
do that?
talk about the old CRT monitors actually blended pixels, so the images actually looked a lot better back in the day than they do now.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
that's why
Because
I'm
with our
remembering them
crisp-
better.
Because
Mhm.
that is true. So certain like TVs will be able to produce like their native
Yep.
aspect ratio better, and some can produce older like 480p aspect ratios fairly well. But some of them, when you start getting more granular, they don't reproduce it well on a 1080p monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally
That's
true.
interesting.
Yeah,
But
it plagues the skateboarding world. There's also,
why are you green?
you know, I'm just.
Is this a filter?
chilling.
This is a filter.
No,
I bet it is. He's just messing with us. I like
No,
how
the
this
way it
shirt
went
is
out-
the same color. You notice the shirt is still the same color it was? It didn't change.
I feel like his camera turned on colorblind mode. Like that's what this looks like.
It glitched out crazy and just went.
It did. It did. So,
That-
Kitty,
that
other
was
than
funny.
that, did you have any
It's
other
been
boss
sitting
fights,
in
or
a
was that your
drawer
main
for
one?
years.
Again, they share with other guys here, so I'm not gonna jump on them.
Well,
Which
in
bosses?
that
We're talking
case,
more bosses?
yeah. And
The whole show,
well,
baby. The whole show.
Okay, well, can I throw one out there?
yeah.
Go.
Sure.
Ganon from Link to the Past. Like, Link to the Past was such an epic, like, RPG style. One of the first open world style games I've ever played. Had a great story, lots of bosses along the way, but the final boss was intimidating. He was difficult to fight. You felt like you had earned it when, like, you were like ready to walk up the stairs to fight that guy, and then you also feel powerful by the time you get there. By the time you play through the whole game, look at how many freaking hearts he has. You start that game with 3 hearts.
This is like
Um,
old school Ganon. This is when he was still portrayed as a pig.
Yeah, there's like Ganon, and then there's like I can't remember
Ganondorf
his
is
other-
when he's not a pig.
Ganondorf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warthog.
And then what is it, Ganon Blight? Or what is the one in?
I
Yeah,
fucking
whatever.
sucked at Zelda.
See up at the
Yo.
top. So the green thing in the upper
was
left
not
is
my
the
game.
mana, because green was the color of mana in this
I
game.
tried
See how
to
it's
go
got the
back
one
and-
half. Everything he spends mana on, it only costs him half mana because of some item that he has. But look how difficult
Whoa.
the fight is. Yeah, he creates those things. They all turn into fire bats that then fly straight at you. It's a mechanic that's used pretty often throughout the game. Like, there's a lot of them where you go into a room and the tiles lift off the floor and then fly at you, and you have to dodge them.
Yeah, I tried to play top-down Zelda games like the older style. They're fucking hard.
Yeah,
It was.
they're good
Look
games.
at how much life he lost. Oh, he's still not through it.
And so, and I want to
there
go
we
back to Kitty on this. I feel like the answer, I have a specific way to ask the question to Kitty after. But Sermaldo, like,
Yeah.
how do you think, and I'll be going into this, but like, how do you think trying to translate that kind of those boss battles into VR, like, do you think it would work? Still,
I think it really depends on the style of the game that you're playing, and I think that what makes it's the things that made the boss fight fun that need to translate over. It doesn't need to look like this for it to be as good as this. It needs to feel like you are challenged by the boss. It needs to seem difficult. It needs to look cool. It needs to. You need to feel way more powerful than you were when you started the game. Like, that's a really important part of progression to me. Is that I need to feel like I've come a long way and that my character could whoop my old character's ass up and down the street. And then for the boss to still be difficult after you've mastered all the stuff and become strong, you need to learn the boss fight too. Like, you can tell from that fight that it was all like choreographed. The boss does the same thing every time essentially, but it's still difficult because of the way they made it. So you have to learn the fight and utilize the things you've learned along the way. So I think it really depends
Take
on
this.
how the
It'll
game
help
has
you on your
locomotion. Yeah, like gathering items and shit is a big
Dangerous
deal.
to go alone. Take this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's totally possible to make a fight like that. The game just has to be in a style where, you can move around like he can, like that's one thing that's continuing to be really important to me in all VR games is the locomotion. Like, I really hate snap turning. I really hate teleportation. I want my character to be able to move quickly. Holy shit. Secret boss.
What's cracking, y'all?
Hey, what's up, man?
Long time no see.
What do you mean? You were just here the last show, weren't you?
You're a
Maybe
little
on
late, man.
Video, maybe on a little clip.
Okay, I'm not. I love you and all, but I want to see the ferrets, not you. The ferrets. Where the ferrets?
Oh my god.
Here's one.
Oh my goodness! I missed you. We need one. I missed you too, Kier, but like
Yeah,
people are
I know.
attached.
You just,
You know.
we're all.
You know.
I'm just here for them too. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I could sit in the.
Yeah.
Does he look more jacked, or is it just me? You've been working out? Dude?
Yes. What you been
Dude,
doing?
I be work.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
I
I thought
thought
we were
you were
supposed to do the
talking
whole
about the
tonight.
ferret. I thought you meant the
Concrete.
ferret looked jacked.
Okay,
He's got the
Barrett
vapors.
working out.
No,
Who
yeah.
knows?
Where'd she go?
Oh no,
He's
Kitty,
ripped.
you're making me blush. Look, I'm
I
purple.
mean, look at this.
Do it again.
Look at this. Look at that.
Ooh,
Oh,
been working
see
out
that?
too.
I can tell the
Been
Barrett,
working
he's
out
getting buff
too.
right
Look
there.
at
Yeah, yeah.
Why are
Yeah.
you showing
Look
us
at
some
that.
junk, man?
She's working the calves. She's working the calves.
Okay.
Working the booty.
Although I was checking out your cakes, but definitely switching over to the bottom screen.
Yeah, that's okay.
Fuzzy butt is always better. I was saying fuzzy butt. It's cute. It's very cute.
So we were just talking about boss battles
Yeah.
and such.
And Kier might, because Kier, you played WoW too, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I was just gonna ask Kitty.
A lot of it.
Do I want to admit this?
Yeah. So Kitty,
Yeah.
the boss battle you were just talking about, like, do you again just same I was asking Sermaldo, do you think it could translate into VR and then a way to compare that is what is that compared to, like, let's say World Boss and Zenith? Is it
So, I mean, and that's what they were trying to do. Yes, it could translate really easily. The tough thing with VR is you're so limited in your perspective. And so they have to figure out good ways to make you aware that your party needs healing without just putting a bar in your face that says, oh, Kier needs to be healed. Because that sucks. No one wants a user interface telling them. You want to be able to, like, look at your buddy and go, oh shit, he's sweating, he's down on one knee trying to fight, he needs a heal. Instead we get searching and hoping the health bar pops up above someone's head and we can throw a heal at them. But yeah, you could totally translate it. It's just
What boss fight are you talking about in WoW?
I was just talking about Van Cleef, just the first Dead Mines. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
it's
some history there in that little gun right there. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember
There's a
Van
lot of
Cleef.
history in
I'm
Dead
here
Mines.
because it should be your first raid, not raid, but your first dungeon. It's, I guess if you're Alliance, if you're Horde, you did Caverns or whatever, but that doesn't count.
You were a good
But,
guy.
What is it's rage?
I was on the Alliance.
Rage
I was
Fire
on
Chasm,
Paladin.
I think it's called.
Oh yeah, RFC. Yeah. Yeah, that's like a
Yes,
level
it's
6
like in
dungeon.
Orgrimmar. Yeah.
But we used to rock it.
I've played both.
So,
They're both fun.
But yeah, we're See, we've gotten so much more respectful about not interrupting each other that we just sit there and go back and forth for 10 minutes going, oh.
All right.
But we still have
Well,
our
I'm gonna
technical
Who's the dude? Who's
difficulties.
the dude with the googly eyes and the mask? Is that?
It's meta.
Is that metal?
you finally
And then we have Shrek.
Yeah.
And
We
then
got Shrek on the
Budo
show.
as Shrek, yeah.
This just happened randomly and we're still not sure
No, he
why.
does this every stream. Go back
He
and
does it
watch, I promise.
You know what? I'm going to give you an idea about how to translate maybe some of these games over, especially like what I was just seeing in Zelda there. It's not. All right. So this week I played a game randomly that I didn't think I would play called Lucky's Tale, and it was in a jumble pack with Captain Toonhead. And it's like a third person perspective, like platform game. And it's almost like a Crash Bandicoot kind of game. But like everything I see in third person perspective is really, really cool in VR. And, I would like to see some more like adult kind of games or some more aggressive kind of adventure games done with that third person perspective. Because they could translate a lot of these types of moments and these types of games in with you hovering over it with characters moving around under you. And it's still a very, very cool VR experience. Like, I don't think you have to
Universe
be.
does that same format. They do it in a really cool way. Like, has anyone here gotten the chance to go back and play that or played that?
No.
So like you're a chairlord, you're a race of people that's so fucking lazy that you can't get out of your seat anymore. So you have to sit there and control a 3D character that goes out and does all your shit for you. He's like your little slave. He just bitches at you the whole time about how much he hates you.
I saw that movie. It's called Wall-E.
Yeah, Wall-E, right. Yeah.
or surrogates, depending on how you want to look at it.
But I agree, Bonely. Like Moss was the main one that I played, and I just felt
Moss
like,
too.
there's something to this. Like there is
Yeah.
something to playing. Like even though to me at first I was like VR, I need to be first person perspective. But when I didn't do that, I was like, wait a second, no, this is just as
They can
enjoyable, but in a
introduce
different
whole
way.
new
Like-
dimension of mechanics that are really
Yeah.
cool just being in VR, even if it doesn't necessarily need specifically VR mechanics.
Right, like
It'd be
one of the
interesting if there was-
bosses.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Kitty, did you by any chance have the couple videos that I had put up for bosses?
Yeah.
Okay, so the one for Naruto, can you play that one?
Sure.
Now this one was really, really cool. I love the Naruto series in general.
Oh,
The Naruto
I actually-
Shippuden, the Ninja Storm series is really fucking good.
It is good.
It's really good, and they had even a 3D game that I was able to play on the 3D TV, which is awesome. And like they have cutscenes in it where you play through the cutscenes and all this stuff, and like it was really, really epic the way that they put things together. And the boss fight here was, I thought, really cool also because it was one of the like first games. I don't know if it was one of the, but it was one of the most memorable where they put a boss fight right at the beginning of the game, which I think is kind of cool. Like where they can, sometimes you start a game, an adventure game, and then you have a boss fight to begin the game, and then you start from the bottom and then build your way back up into fighting something along those lines. So this one right here, they have a big epic boss fight. And I'm like, something like this in VR, third person, would be amazing because I can't see you reproducing a lot of the anime kind of games in VR the right way yet.
Locomotion. There's
but
so many
it's
people that are going to complain about being able to move as awesomely as anime characters can.
Yo,
Yeah,
this is such a good game opening. Like,
Look at him jumping just
It was
rooftop
amazing.
to rooftop. Whee!
there's
Yeah,
no-
this is
other than
crazy.
Bonley and me, who else has played this game?
Never even seen it.
You've
It's
never
so
seen
good.
it?
This is
Dude,
my
it's
first
so
time
good.
ever
Like,
seeing
How
it.
did they get the
Naruto
rights
is such
to
a good
Ninetales
fighting
and
game.
Charizard in one character?
It's not as hard as like Mortal Kombat. So if you want like it's a casual fighting game, but like it has really fucking stunning visuals.
Amazing, really. This whole thing was amazing, and this was in 3D. This was a 3D game. So this whole thing here was in 3D.
And this is a
Now, after
multiplayer
watching it in
combat game. This
3D,
is the single player story. They have a whole functioning single player story. And then they have a multiplayer fighting game where you can choose from like a roster of like something like 60 characters.
yeah, it's insanely huge. And I'm like, if you could take that game right there and put it right into VR just as is, with going into first person mode during the cutscenes, and it would be amazing. Like I'd
Yo,
like to
that's
see an
already
adult
in
looking.
engine. Like that's in a 3D
I would-
engine already.
That's
That
what I'm
would not be
saying. Like they
difficult.
need to do something like that. I want to see a more adult third person game like Moss, but like a Naruto or like an anime kind of game.
Oh, it'd be
Because
so
if you're
good.
in VR and they're doing the moves and all this crazy shit like in full perspective in VR, it would be crazy. It would be crazy. And they don't have to be tiny. You could do third person perspective with them, big. You could have different perspectives in the game. And I think you could create a lot of really interesting stuff if people, didn't think that you have to be first person. There is some third person shit
So
that's really cool.
speaking of which, I think I have a good one to segue to. Can we do my God of War clip? Speaking of like cinematics like that.
Sure.
God of War?
Yeah.
While he's pulling that up, I just want to make a quick comment. I'm just going to kind of spoil one of my news things. Is that no, but it talks about what they're saying. Like, I wish you could, but I think it's better to do. He was saying do that game in a third person rather than first person because that movement is hard to recreate in like a first. And Final Fantasy VII Remake has apparently been modded into VR. But the main thing that the creator said is that it's even almost too difficult for him to play with how fast it is. And he says it's like the gnarliest test of your VR legs. So that kind of made me want to play it even more. I don't think my computer's going to handle the graphics very well, but I've got to try it at least.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's all about that, what you were just saying, that movement that's super quick and like flipping around. If you do that in VR, it could mess you up. So yeah.
I still want that kind of content.
I know, me and
I want
Samaldo
that
want
content to exist because I think that the problem with it is no
Some
developer
market.
wants to take the chance to put it out there, because early in VR that would have flopped so fucking hard because no one had VR legs enough to handle that. But at this point, I feel like there's enough people around to where like you can start making smaller games like that.
There's a certain population of people who aren't and won't ever be motion sick from VR. So I think there
I mean,
has
yeah.
always been a market for that. It's just
You
not as
can't
big as they want it to be.
can't rely on that.
Hey, was there a timestamp for this video, or was this one that we just wanted to start from the beginning?
No, there's a timestamp. I think it was like 5:13 or something. Dude, I had it stamped so perfectly. Oh, look at that! I remember the exact fucking timestamp. That's it.
Right there, ish.
Play it. I'll see. Oh, that is not it.
Before or after?
Oh no, this. Kitty. My man. I timestamped it.
I know, but you can't download a timestamp.
Yeah. This shit's awesome.
It is pretty crazy, though.
Yeah, it looks
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, where's my Discord? So I can find the timestamp.
Yeah.
Well, it's not actually telling me the time of the video anyways, so the timestamp wouldn't help.
I played the first God of War. It was really good. This looks insane, though.
Oh, dude, 3 took it to another level. Like
This
a
would
whole
be
nother-
crazy in VR.
All right, here it
Definitely
is. This
wanna
is it.
see
This is it.
kind of
right
stuff
here.
in VR.
This is the part that I was trying to save.
Oh yeah, this would be fun.
No, not this. It's coming up.
Yeah.
Right here. This shit. This is
And-
so fucking badass. I want
and-
this in VR.
And not only the graphics, but
Like-
also the game style of press the button at the right time. Like, I think that could translate to VR as far as the game mechanics, and it could
Oh,
be
definitely.
a
She disrespects him. Like, it's not over. But I do want something like this in VR with like the chains and the blades. You can be whipping that shit around. Like people already do that shit with Beat Saber. Like
That'd be
whatever. But so what I love about this boss fight and why it was so memorable to me is this is the first thing you do when you open the game. Because you start the game straight where the second game ends, you have the Titans climbing Mount Olympus because you just freed them. The third game starts and you're in the middle of climbing, and you just start like killing all of them. That's how the game starts. This is like in the first 15 minutes of the game from when you boot it up.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I said about Naruto. Having the big boss fight in the beginning of the game can be really cool.
Yeah, but so what really stuck with me is the previous games had really gone hard on like, you know, they fucked shit up. But this one took it to a different level right here.
Damn.
I mean, do we need to be telling people spoiler alert or anything with this one?
Well, this game's like 10 years
It's like
old.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah.
it's like a decade old, bro.
I try not to pick any new games. I didn't pick any new games for that reason.
Yeah, see,
Doesn't it
this
look
has
so
the same
good to be a
cutscene.
decade old?
It has the
It's
same
holding up.
cutscene scenario that Naruto has, Meta, like where you hit the buttons in the middle
He's
of the
just-
cutscene to like
Yeah,
keep it
yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
The quick whatever it's called.
Oh man, talk about being curb stomped.
Jeez.
Oh, so this is the part that as a kid was so cool because right here you have your hands on the controller and it goes push in, and you're like you just pushed his eyes out. It is like,
Oh.
oh shit.
Brutal.
Feels like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Man,
Finish
just
him.
throw him off
God of
the
War
Right.
is so awesome.
I did the PSP God of War. It was a lot of fun, but I never played it on console. I never had a PlayStation. Well, I did have a PlayStation.
Well,
That
no,
was-
the third one is
yeah,
the
that was
best one
great.
out of all of them in my opinion. But anyways,
Yeah,
that's
this is badass. Look at this.
yeah, because you just killed Poseidon, so the sea goes crazy.
Nice.
But I just feel like this kind of thing in VR it would be so cinematic. It would look so cool. The
Stick
issue
figure.
I feel like is again the locomotion. I feel like that's really what's holding back VR right now is they don't, people get sick.
Bring it.
I think that's, again, we've had this conversation 20 times now. But I mean, I think they're more scared of people being sick than people actually get sick. You know?
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of us
Well,
are
is
like,
there-
no, just put us through hell. I'm fine with it for a good game. You know?
it'd be good. They should have
Not
like,
the leaky
some sort
girls,
of
but
a-
everyone else.
What if they had like a rating system on locomotion and like every
do.
game was
What in
is
the
it
hell
scored?
is Leaky
Is it
Girls?
synced and scored?
They currently do. If you
I've
look
never
on your
seen a
games in the
score for a
Oculus
game.
Store,
Okay, okay.
It rates
Okay,
it
that makes a lot
like
of
one of
sense,
three,
actually,
like
now
high
that you say
intensity, medium
Sounded
The
intensity.
different
That's our motto,
I
not an
can't
S.
hear you better.
So on the
What's going
Oculus store,
Uh-huh.
if you look
Hey,
under the
Maldo.
game, it'll have three options. It'll say high intensity, medium intensity, or low intensity. It'll tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they need a more succinct one that's not so general as opposed to just three things. I don't know, because I feel like Surmaldo and Budo, where I would like to see some more challenging ones because I don't get sick. So
You know what the kind of motion sick VR gives me? Has anyone ever been in one of those build your own roller coaster like little capsules that like they have it in Disney World, but it's in I can't remember. It's not Disney World, but it's like Disney Springs. But
Disneyland?
no, it's Disney Springs. It's like a little like shopping center that also has like the Disney arcade or whatever, like separate from Disney World. You don't need like passes to go there. But like you go in and you make your own roller coaster ride, and like it's a little like pod thing. You get in, it's like two people can sit in it, and you're like, I want it to go straight here, I want it to go down here, I want it to loop, and the thing will recreate it. But because you don't have any forward momentum, you're just like spinning and going straight and like angling, and like that kind of motion sick. That's what I feel in VR because like there's no movement associated with it. So for me personally, I found that having the fan actually started helping me a lot. Just feeling like there was something moving past my face.
When I played the what was it, World War II planes? I think it's called World War I planes in VR on the Oculus.
Yeah, warplanes.
Yeah, warplanes.
Warplanes. That made me so sick. I put it on Real Flight Simulator, and after about 15 minutes,
That's why I
was
fucked
gonna
up
throw
too.
up. I took my mask, took it off. I put a bunch of pillows behind me and a blanket to just like feel like
So
I'm here. Just be able to go like, okay, yeah, no, this is my body and this is a video game. Just
Did it
to
help?
create that disconnection.
Oh,
You didn't hear
man.
Only barely helped.
Kay and I, when we turned upside down, we were like, oh, and we had to like ground ourselves. My stomach shot through my left nostril. True story.
Yeah.
I might be a cruel person, but I thought it was hilarious the whole time because I had no issues.
I can't.
I was having fun shooting y'all down that first day. It was great.
Oh, I know you did, Surmaldo. You beat us like
Can anybody else picture him playing warplanes right now with the googly eyes? That would be fucking hilarious. Them little things be going all over the damn place. Right.
How would I put my headset on, let alone see the screen?
I want it to be on your character in the game. That's what I want to see.
Right.
Yeah.
You fly upside down, the eyes go up like that. You fly right back up, they fall back down.
Hilarious.
Just take Meta's face on videos and just put it on shit.
You know, he has lips, but he will not give us the lips.
Who?
That is not any better. Oh.
You got the black girl lips.
but-
Do you
but-
see that, Kay? You got the black
Speaking
girl
of,
lips.
I'm very clearly not. But speaking speaking of Kitty said I don't want my face on screen right now. Speaking of games and boss fights, there was one that I picked out that I think could be created well right now in VR. And that's from a game that not a lot of people have heard of. But the only reason is because it got overshadowed by Skyrim that came out just a few months before it. Because it was also an open world medieval style RPG. But they went more into the mechanics of it, of like a party system with a third person view. So it's like a different vibe, but that's why it kind of floundered. But if we pull up the little clip I have of the first boss fight you do in the game,
What's it called?
I can. It's called Dragon's Dogma.
I played it.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first for me.
Yeah, I played it. It was good.
It's a great game.
Yeah, I had fun with it.
I actually full completed it. So like this is early on into the story. This is maybe 20, 30 minutes into the story. But so this is your first major boss fight. And it's like there's this little cutscene, and this is all in an open world, by the way. and it's like the fucking Hydra is attacking. You got to now defend it, and so with these graphics, it's not. This game is 12 years old. I'm pretty sure. Like I think the Quest could roughly handle something somewhat similar in smaller environments, but in a moment here, you'll see a feature that I think we're all very familiar with and know translates to VR very well. And it's not the bow.
Yeah, well, already I was just
about
going
to
to say,
say,
bow and
hold
arrow,
on.
that's VR.
But so it's a multi-class game. There's bow, there's sword, there's a ton of magic. There's way more magic than I was expecting when I went into the game. So much
What were you
more.
gonna say, Kier?
No, I was being sarcastic about the bow too. I was like, I'm not talking about the
so-
bow, are we?
What's really unique about this game, and they show you a little bit right here, is this little prompt comes up, and for the first time it's like you can climb on your enemies to damage them. And it's like it introduces this mechanic. So in the open world there are like regular sized enemies, but then sometimes there's also these giant ones. And to beat them, like they do so much damage, like you need to get on them, you need to hold on, you need to like move the joystick so it doesn't pull you off. And like you're climbing on it while stabbing it, trying to kill it. And I feel like in VR, like already climbing in Zenith and stuff, like that would be so fucking cool. And I
That
think
would be crazy.
Like with the snake whips, maybe not, because that's like really whipping you. But like with other
Bring it on.
like, and then like you slice off its head. It's so great.
The game was tough. That was a tough ass game.
But yeah, I
It
mean,
was.
but yeah, meta. I mean, when it comes to climbing on bosses, like that was not a big boss. But I mean, if you went Shadow of the Colossus big in VR, that would be, I think, just like I'm surprised nobody's tried to copy that. And just
Do we have any
the
clips
issue
of
with
Shadow?
that is rendering distance right now, which is why I think that would be a bit more
minus all the
achievable.
sweatiness.
But as the hardware improves, yeah,
I
I
got
think that'd be
lyrics.
awesome.
I quit my boss fight. I'm not gonna tell it. I fucked it up.
Okay,
I fucked
cool.
it all up.
I've done
He's
that. a
still
couple
here?
What?
what is his catchphrase? 100%.
Does anyone else have any boss fights they
No.
think would
No, we
transfer well to
don't.
VR?
Nope, we don't.
Here.
Thanks, Meta.
What's up with okay, so Kay, what about you?
Why'd you go to me? You trying to put me on
I'm
spot
just
or
kidding.
something?
Budo, what's up? What do you got?
That's what I mean. Uh-huh.
Mm.
Didn't I hear Budo say me?
Budo has one. He has like 12. I'm sure.
Oh no, I mean, does Kier got anything? No, I don't know.
Me? Favorite
Yeah.
boss fight? I mean,
Not at work.
in any video game. Work right
Yeah,
now.
any in gaming history, your favorite boss fight.
That you would like to see
Favorite
translated to
boss
VR.
fight. It would translate to VR.
It doesn't have to translate to VR.
I would
but-
say, honestly, in the latest expansion in WoW, Shadowlands, when you fight in Castle Nathria, when you're actually fighting, I forget his name, the main boss, you have to dance around and like run away from these things that he summons, and they're casting magic at you, and there's like doors that you have to run through. And if you don't make it through the door in time before he sets off some blood spell, then everybody on that side of the door wipes. And on the other side, the fight is it's just a continuous barrage of like mechanic after mechanic after mechanic. And that's kind of, I would like to see that transpire in VR. I mean, I understand it's not bird's eye view, but I think there's certain ways you could go about it if you made a big enough raid party. Because once you have 20 people, 25 people doing the same thing, you learn the mechanics, you start to practice, you do your thing, you got your healer group, you got your warrior group, you've got your DPS group, and you just knock that shit out of the park. I think there's so much you could do with VR that minus my own bias from playing like RuneScape and World of Warcraft and EverQuest, and I think there's so much you could do. I've always wanted to be in like a World of Warcraft setting, like just looking around like, are you kidding me? Look, if there's 40 people here, there's my healers over there. That's the DPS over there. And look at those dudes up there. They're just taking all the damage. They don't give a shit. Who's back here? We got the casters. You guys are crazy.
Hell yeah.
I agree. That's what I was hoping to get with Zenith. I said the Z word.
Speaking of games,
Not today. Cut it off.
somehow that when you said dancing, it made me think of something. Did any of you ever play Crypt of the Necro Dancer?
The fuck?
No.
Oh, they even so to explain to you how good this indie game is. Zelda franchise, Nintendo franchised out their license for Zelda for them to make a Zelda version of that game.
That
So-
says something.
Which
Yeah,
says a lot because Nintendo does not fuck with
No,
they do
anybody
not.
but Nintendo.
I'm
So
surprised I haven't heard
the
of this
premise of
before.
this game is
No,
a
you're
2D
sorry.
game similar to the art style of what you showed, Sermato, with the old school Zelda.
Mhm.
And it's a dungeon crawler, and there's bosses you have to get through, and there's like stuff you unlock along the way. And the main core mechanic, aside from all the side stuff that has Demio aspects,
You said ass. She said ass.
you have to dance to the music. So there's music going on, and there's a heart in the
Child
middle, and it's
say.
beating. And your character has to move to the beat, or you get damaged. So like the way to avoid all the enemies is like you'll have to move to the beat, you have to attack to the beat, you have to do everything to the beat as you move around the tiles.
That's actually
Otherwise-
cool.
That's pretty
Sammy.
cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you just made me think of something meta, which is something I haven't seen in VR yet, really, which is that certain games, instead of just having a boss fight, there's like a whole boss level you go through before you even get to the boss. Like I'm thinking like old school Mario games where like, you know, you get up on the flying ship, the flying pirate ship up in the air, and the cannons are shooting at you for the whole level, and you're having to dodge shit for like 10 minutes before you even get to the fight. Like warms you up and wears you out at the same time before you even fight the boss. So I think that's something.
Yeah,
that
by the
needs to be
time you
more
get to the
prominent.
boss, you're just like, ring it!
Yeah, like, or you're sweating your ass off if you're in VR. I think if you had to be like dodging stuff and jumping over things before you even got to the boss fight, like wear you out,
What?
and then have the boss fight with mechanics that forces you to dodge stuff and jump over things. Like I think that would be awesome.
So I have-
I'm down with
if
that,
no
but
one
no
else had
rule. No rule
What?
of three though.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But missed it.
100%.
Did anyone else have any other
It's-
boss fights? Because I had one last one otherwise.
Was
I
that
did
neat
also.
talking?
I still have mine to do.
What about your Nate? What are yours?
I
So
still wanna know
Kitty,
what the rule
Kitty,
of three is.
me and Kitty talked a little bit about it because he's a fan of it too. We're both big fans, I would say. But oh, but you're gonna show that clip?
You're gonna show that side? That's not my good side.
I sent him 2 clips. I want him to show him the other one, but he said he only downloaded 1, so that's nice.
You get what you get.
Well, the other one I actually took time in to make. It was so sad.
No.
Then why'd you submit?
Yeah,
So
why'd you send
sorry.
the other one?
You should have only submitted one if the other one was the good one.
I mean, the bigger question is why did Kitty only download one of them?
I don't know.
Yeah, Kitty, this is all on you. Let's bring this back to blaming things on Kitty. Thank you for bringing us back on track, Meadow.
Fuck you, Kitty.
Not yet. Front becomes front. No damage. Chest. Yes! Fuck yes! Whoa! Oh my fucking god! Bitches! Suck my dick, Oryx! Holy shit!
So that boss
Whoa.
right there.
Did Oryx
Oh.
like that?
Yo, the energy in
That
that clip.
guy.
Yeah. So that's that boss is from.
I'm awake.
That's from Destiny 1. That's Oryx.
Wait,
And,
was
like,
that the
what-
first raid?
No, that's King's Fall. That's third. I think the third raid that come out for that game. I
Okay.
think.
What was the
I'm not
first?
sure.
The first raid in Destiny was it Corona or something like that?
No, it was Vault of Glass.
No, that was 2020.
Atheon was the first
19
one.
actually.
Back
Mexico
to
and
my
Cancun.
statement and say that was my favorite boss fight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
Yeah, but yeah, that boss
Oh, you're
was my favorite and that reaction really like tells you because every time you went through that, it was such a challenge to get to the end that you would be screaming once you won. Like it wasn't like you go in and like, oh, it's gonna be easy. Like you could
Nope.
like I remember, I don't know if Kitty, I know you've played this game, but I have had times where I went into a raid. I went times to go into like the boss fights in this game, and we wouldn't get out until like 5 hours or 6 hours later. It would take forever, and it was the best thing ever.
Yeah,
And- talk.
That's what I remember from the Vault of Glass because I didn't really play past that, but oh my god, just getting to the boss was like someone just fucking.
We
Why
were
am I-
stuck in the
why am
Gorgon
I-
maze for
Dude, we
3
tried.
hours. Like,
Yeah.
so to give you an idea, this part of the raid, if you've got an organized team, it takes you about 40 seconds. We were stuck in it for 3 hours. And it's a
Brutal.
short little maze with these guards floating around, and if you get too close to the guard or if they spot you, it's a typical, Zelda mechanic from walking through the garden. But if they spot you, your whole team wipes. So you spot one person, everybody wipes.
Yeah. So, so the boss, the reason why I like the boss I showed is because this boss wasn't just, first of all, the size of him. I think he's the biggest boss ever in Destiny that you fight. He was massive. And it also just the journey to get to him. You have to fight, I think it was like 4 other bosses before you even get to him. And the other 4 are already really hard. So it's like...
So, I don't know Destiny at all. Is he the final boss, or are there more bosses after
From
that?
one of the expansions. Yeah.
Yeah. So every expansion in the game adds like a new, final
So,
boss.
I
and
do
you
have
go
a
and beat
curious
him.
question.
I
I heard a lot of criticism about Destiny that it was pay to win. Is that no longer true?
It's not pay to win.
It's not pay to
In
win.
no way was it ever pay to win.
Yeah, that's just what I heard, man.
Yo,
I'm
you just
grateful.
insulted Kitty, man. You should apologize.
No, that's not an insult. It's just they have a lot of
You seem
cosmetics you can
upset.
buy. But there was no... Well, just because it's not a pay to win. Like, there are some games where I'm like, it's kind of is. I think maybe you could buy, like, XP so that you can get cool weapons, but it's in no way pay to win.
Yeah.
So I got a question for Neat about the whole 5-hour boss experience and coming out of it feeling like it was fun. So, does the boss drop? Does the boss drop stuff? Like, do you
Yes.
get something?
Yeah,
Okay,
you
and
get
so like
something.
it feels like the loot you got was worth it after putting in
Oh,
all
yeah.
that effort.
And
Yep.
Because I feel like that's a really important distinction between final bosses where the game's
Yeah.
ending in like a single player experience versus like an
And
MMO where even the final boss drops
coolest-
gear that you keep forever.
The coolest thing about these boss fights is that you go in with a 6-man team. I think if I remember 6-man team, and everyone had a role. Like when you're fighting this boss has different mechanics. Everyone must be do something. If one person messes up, you guys just wipe. You lose. So it's a really big team thing. You can't just go in there with half of the people not knowing not a single thing to do. You really got to know what you're doing, and when you beat the boss, you get a reward, and you can do it. And then later on, you do it again, but you do it in a harder difficulty with different mechanics to make it even more challenging. I would say.
Perdona mi amigos.
What?
I gotta get out of here, dude. I gotta be to work at like 4:30 in the morning.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
Thanks for
popping in,
coming
dude.
Yeah,
It was great seeing you.
Don't be shy to pop in, man.
All these beautiful faces, and Zay and Kaylee got their own situation set up.
Wow.
You know?
That was either a poor choice in following up the sentence with the next one, or that was done intentionally.
All you beautiful people. Oh, and Zay and Kay, by the way.
You look, you got googly eyes, baldy, and what the hell?
I didn't know this was a roast. Holy shit.
You've made the
Yeah,
right choice.
I never
We all
thought
should
that Jesus
listen
would
to you.
roast me this morning.
Quality by choice.
Kamala, you're gorgeous.
All right, bye, man.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, have a good night, dude. Thanks for popping in.
See you, man.
Yeah, anytime.
Feel free.
Dude,
Feel free
it's
anytime, dude.
I'm just gonna not even say anything
So-
else.
The show ends when he leaves, right?
What? I wasn't done. No.
No, neat.
Neat's like, no.
So, following up that, let's keep it rolling.
Yeah,
So I have
yeah.
one last
Neat,
boss
Neat
fight.
wasn't
No,
done. He wasn't done.
neat. I think
done.
neat.
Yeah,
I
first
got
I
one
gotta,
more too,
I
Meta.
think-
yeah,
Stop.
I gotta
kept
say,
asking.
I gotta say one more thing, and then I gotta answer the question about the VR. Like, how do I want this? Blah blah blah. So another thing about this fight that was also so,
And whatever the fuck else you guys asked me.
But
yeah, well, something about
was
the
doing
boss
so
that
well.
was also really cool is not just because you beat it and you got loot, but like knowing that he's a god, like you killed a god in the game. Like that's like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Like that's
Or a goddess. He's also a goddess.
What?
It's better than the
Yeah.
loot. It's better than
Yeah,
the friends
he's a
you make
guy.
along the way.
He started off as a female. They're kind of like bugs, but he starts off as a
true.
female and then at the end he's male. So
Yeah,
he was first a goddess before he was a god.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird lore in that game, but it's
There
it's all-
is and
That seems extraordinarily unnecessary lore. Like,
Well, the reason
no,
why you
because
fight him,
they have a crazy hierarchy of the way their kings and shit work, so it really is important to the lore.
yeah, the reason why you kill the reason why like the whole reason you even fight him
Yo,
in the first
I wanna
place is
get a
because you
simpler
kill his
game.
son, you murder his son, and then he's like, okay, you killed my son, so now I'm gonna kill you. It's just like, well, okay,
But
so,
it is
the lore better be very well voice acted. And
no, it's not at all.
Because if
It's
someone's
hidden
writing,
and
You
buried.
know what's gonna happen. Click.
there is some
No,
voice. There is
It's
some
hidden
voice
and buried. You don't get any lore in the game. You have to find it.
There is some lore
Wait,
though
did somebody
from,
say
from
the Z word and I didn't hear it?
There is some lore from cutscenes, but nothing like big.
Yeah.
Now to answer the question about the VR thing, I think just the that reaction clip. I want something like that when I'm playing
It
a game
feels
in
that
VR,
good.
that just like you put so much time into this and you're just that happy. And there was a game that tried this, and the Z word. They did the raids, and I enjoyed them, but I didn't have that same feeling. That I beat it, and I was like so happy. It was like I beat it.
There was
There's
no loot.
Okay.
there's
there
no
was no loot.
satisfaction. There's no loot, and you're left
Yeah.
with like, so I got to do this 40 more times.
No.
Was
Yeah,
it just 40? I thought it was way more than that.
It's way more, but
It's
we don't
way
talk
more than that.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
40
it's important-
successful
it's
ones too,
important-
by the way.
It's important to tell people how many times roughly do you think, Neat?
Well, it's
To
3
get
months.
the exotic armor,
It's 3 months minimum.
Okay, when you say 3 months, how many
Oh,
hours a day is that
daily?
assuming?
Yeah, what does that mean?
it's 20 times. Is
You
it
can
20
only-
times a
you
week
can-
or 20
you can-
times a day
You can only get rewards once a day. So
for like 5 different things?
Great, I'll play the game for 5 minutes each day, like a mobile game on my phone that I end up uninstalling.
yeah, but like the big thing, the big thing, like I already said about the game, is that you would be playing for hours and then you just feel accomplished, like you actually did something instead of just playing for like Zenith. Oh, I said it, but that like they tried the raids, but you pretty much all of them you can get through in like under an hour, and then you're just done. And it's not very, and you can be even like you guys wouldn't know this because you haven't really played them a lot. You can solo the bosses in Zenith. That's how,
I mean, it's a good example. It's a good example, honestly, because while we're talking about, how flat games translate to VR. So with all of their dungeons, they've taken concepts from flat dungeons and they've just done them in 3D. You've got to pull these levers to open the door. Okay, the one of the really cool things in one of the dungeons is you have mirrors and lights, and you have to shine the lights in the right openings to open a door. That's probably the coolest thing out of all of it that I've seen. That's probably the most.
They also ripped that straight from Zelda, of course.
Oh
it's
yeah,
not bad.
oh yeah. It's it's your basic laser maze, but still, it's something kind of new. But yeah, they don't. I never felt, and there wasn't a point where you're excited that the boss is like in his second stage, and now you've got to try harder to do this. Like you'd never
Yo,
feel
I
that.
beat the boss before I ever even knew he had a second stage. Like that should
Yeah.
say something.
Yeah. And well, the same thing with World Boss. When did we ever do the second
That's
stage
what
of
I'm
World
talking
Boss? You know?
Yeah, same
What do
thing
you
with
mean?
same thing with the game Destiny. Like there were some bosses you would be fighting and their health is at 0, but they're actually not done. And then
Yeah.
you're ready like 2 hours into the fight or maybe an hour and like it's not done, and then it just keeps going.
And some of those fights, like if you're not even including wipes, just a straight run, I mean, you're talking a 19, 20-minute fight with a
So
boss.
you're totally
If
fucked
you're doing
someone
well.
comes in and
Yeah,
unplugs
if
you.
Oh,
you're doing
dude.
Well, playing
Oh,
for 4
dude.
hours.
In
Like,
the vault of so in the Vault of Glass raid, when you're fighting the boss, he teleports you to other dimensions, and you have to beat bosses in those dimensions to get back to the main dimension.
Yeah.
And if you die over there, you don't come back to the main dimension. Someone has to get sent back to that dimension to resurrect you so you can get back to fight the main boss. Like, I'm telling you, like, these boss fights are epic and crazy, and that's, I mean, absolutely would be amazing in VR. And I mean, it's already a first-person shooter, so you don't have to really change much to make it badass in VR.
Another
You know?
thing about the time it takes, like the longest time it took me to do a raid, it was 12 hours. 12 hours straight playing a game. And I personally, that was way.
You've exited the realm of fun to me.
but no, like no, that's not normal though. Because 12 hours, that's not normal. But it was like we were a completely new group. None of us knew how to do it, and we just learned our own. Like it's different when you already know how to do it. It doesn't take that long, but it's
But still, the first time people average and the plus 2 digits, like nope.
Well,
So neat. Were you guys
But the
getting the
gameplay does
occasional
seem
really
cool.
awesome drop during that though, and that's what kept you guys going?
Yeah, well, yeah, we just wanted to get to the end. We were like, we knew that we were gonna get something. Like we knew that we weren't gonna do this and get nothing. Because when you finished a raid, you got new loot and you leveled up and you could do harder.
Well,
Difficulties.
see, here's my criticism, and I want to see what your opinion is of this because I think it's very obvious that we have differing opinions, and that's fine. People like different kinds of games, but
But you're wrong,
So-
just so we're clear.
Yeah, you're
but
wrong.
in my like gamer view, which it's fine. People like different things. There's no problem with that. But like in my opinion, like if the thing I'm doing isn't fun enough for me to want to just do that thing, and it's only because of something I'm going to get at the end, then like that's not fun to me. Like I want to feel like the actual gameplay is what's fun.
Oh, yeah, the
Because at the end
gameplay
of the
was
day, when I
fun.
get that item, a lot of times that's when I stop playing the game anyway. So it's like I did all this to get this. Like, yeah, I got it
So-
now. Would I do that?
Okay,
But that's
Meta, have you played any other MMOs besides Zenith?
no.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Okay,
that
so
they
I
would
feel
have
like I need to
abused it.
explain to you and Bonely and anybody else who doesn't understand about MMOs is like it's about the character progression. It's like when you beat the boss and you get the new item, your character is stronger, and it's so much different from Zenith. This is why Zenith was so unfulfilling at the end.
You don't think in RPGs in general or in different things there's character progression? Like
But
Well,
we don't
it's
get
the same. It's the same idea. It's
all
the same idea.
It's really all the game is about, though. It's like all the boss fights you ever do. It's like even if you defeat the final boss,
Yeah,
there's going to
but
be an
all right,
expansion
you know what?
someday.
That's a good lead in. That's a good lead into my other video that I put out, which was one of the bosses from Dark Souls, because
Right.
that game was ruthless and unapologetic in how difficult it was, and that's what I really liked about
I
it.
think it's important to say for people who might not know, there's only one difficulty setting on Dark Souls.
Yeah, Dark Souls
it's
is
just-
not that bad.
And then you just and you're just left in the middle of nowhere, and you don't know where to go. And if you stroll in one direction, you could end up in one of the final state, where you should not be. You have to be very careful about where you're walking and which direction you go in that game, because if you die in a certain place, you're stuck or you can't get back to there, and then you got to. I mean, it's a pain, and the grind in there was real, but it felt worth it because the game was so challenging that it wanted you to push, hard. And this particular boss, we fought
So
for
hard.
3.5 hours. It was two brothers, these huge
So
knights,
hard.
and it is crazy. Dark Souls is very difficult. It was
So
a difficult
hard.
game. Did any of you guys beat it? Did any of you guys play it and beat it?
No, so I tried.
Yeah, I
tried
beat it.
Dark
It was
Souls
hard, so I
once.
beat it.
Um, and
Jeez,
I didn't play past the tutorial area.
I've played every
Yeah.
Souls game.
I'm impressed.
No, I beat
Not a
this game.
fan.
It's very difficult. It was awesome.
I
This
feel
would
like older
translate
me
amazing
might like
into
it,
VR.
but like
What the hell
younger-
is that thing?
Yo, have you never seen the
They-
Dark Souls bosses, Kitty? This is nothing.
That's the
That's
most
like-
normal one.
Yeah, seriously.
This was just a fun, epic
Oh, dude, if
battle.
you've never seen,
Like,
you should just look at a
it was
top 100 list of
brutal.
like Dark Souls bosses just to see the character models. They're fucking wild.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, man, that game was awesome. Don't take anything from that. That game is really,
How many
really
bosses are
hard,
in
and
Elden
that's what I
Ring,
wanted to see.
by the way? Anyone know? I think
It's 50 something. 150.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's nuts.
unique bosses.
And
With unique bosses.
I've beat like half of them because I've played the shit out of that game.
Well, I have nothing to say. I don't have anything to say. I was kind of busy this week. Zay hush. Yeah, nothing at all. I was busy. Hush. Yeah, this is taking a really long time. Is that a minute over with yet? Never. What do you mean? I'm just waiting for the clock to go. Maybe next time, guys. Next time I'll have something. No. 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 Wait, did you know that Budo has been lying to us this whole time?
So, Budo,
That was a great ending.
what are you-
Oh my god.
what are you lying about, Budo? You're not really green?
Oh, that was a great ending. Oh my god. We pulled it together.
I really don't know. Unfortunately, it was the end of the minute. I guess we're just gonna have to wait until next week.
Is that how you're gonna finish the
Till the next minute.
For Kate, tell us what I'm lying about.
Oh, there's 237 bosses in Elden Ring, by the way. 237.
That are
Why?
known. That are known.
That are known? Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
people always find new secrets in that game.
That's crazy. Bonely, what were you saying?
Are they really
I mean,
bosses at that point?
if they're individual and take different mechanics, it's a boss.
They're all
in my
different
opinion.
bosses, pretty much. There are some. I would say there are some that are. There are some that are like.
Sir Maldo, if you're talking to us, we
specific,
can't hear you.
but-
I would think they're just tough
Man.
characters at that point. There's fucking 200 and something of them. That doesn't qualify
Well,
as a boss.
there's
to me.
that many, but there's only like I think it's like 20 like ones you have to take out to win.
Do they
Those
drop
sound like
items?
bosses.
What do you get from killing
Yeah.
them?
20.
They all drop.
Kitty.
They all drop their own unique items.
What?
Every
20,
single
kitty. 20 bosses.
20,
Not
20 what?
20 main story ones that are like
There's
mandatory.
20 actual bosses. The other
Actual
ones are
main
tough
story,
characters.
No, but I know what he's talking about. In
Oh, man.
Skyrim, if you take some side quests, I would still call those bosses, even if you don't have to.
Yeah, they're
Not if
all
there's
bosses.
240 of them.
They're all bosses.
I mean, I
Come on,
see what
man.
you're saying, Bonely. I see what you're saying, Bonely. But
To me,
that's
boss, they up the level of what it means to be a boss in that game. I mean, they're mini bosses. You know, If there's 240 of them, you can't call it a boss. It's ridiculous. It's just the way the game is. Their bosses are of a higher elk. You know what I mean? They feel like bosses, but they're not really the bosses. There's 20 bosses. That makes more sense.
So, okay, I have to ask Bonely a question right now. Have you played Shadow of the Colossus?
No.
Okay, so in every fight in that game is a boss fight. I haven't played it either, so
and
that's from my
that's a
understanding.
great example.
But what would you say if the game went for 240 of them? They wouldn't be bosses, even though they're gigantic and crazy, or?
Okay, so
What do
just
you
to
mean?
clarify what
I
he's
don't
saying.
understand.
Okay,
You have to explain that a little bit
what he's
further.
saying is that every fight
Every
in Shadow
fight-
of the Colossus is a boss fight.
Okay, so it's like how many stages are there? How many
I'm
bosses
pretty sure
are
it's
there total?
12 or 14. in
So
But
Shadow
my
of the
point is,
Colossus.
if
So
it
not
went on 3 times,
240?
10 times.
Yeah,
But my point is that if there were
Okay.
240
If
of
there's
them,
10
they would still be bosses, I think.
they would.
because
They would.
of
In
their-
Shadow of the
No,
Colossus.
To me,
yes.
it's a number thing. It's a number thing. It's not as much of like the mechanics of different things. It's that if there's a couple hundred of them, that to me it doesn't qualify as a boss because there's so goddamn many of them. If there's ones that are if they're tiered, like I said, there's such a thing as a mini boss. It's not demoting them or anything. It's just saying that there's a shit ton of them.
Don't demote my
What if
boss.
they're all?
I know,
But I
I'm
see what
just
you're saying,
there's a
but
shit ton
Boney.
of them. And
So
there's
Boney,
not
but
that game, so I'm not going to deal with the hypothetical. There was 10 or 12 in that game, and if it's 10 or 12, okay, there's 10 or 12
but
bosses.
Boney,
I can deal with
you're
that
saying
number. I can't
you're
deal
saying
with
there's-
240 bosses in one game. It doesn't make any damn sense.
I
It's
see what
just
you're
a
saying. It
number.
doesn't make sense. But what I'm saying is that in Shadow of the Colossus, there isn't
There's
a
10.
tier on them. There's
If
like
there's 10. There's not. If there was 240 levels on Shadow of the Colossus, and you were trying to tell me every level is a boss for 240 levels, I'd be like, "Come on, man, are you serious?" Like,
no, that just sounds like a really
ridiculous.
no. That sounds like
It sounds
a really
ridiculous.
in-depth
There is no game like that. There is no game like that.
Skyrim is like that. There are
Skyrim
so
is not
many-
like that. I beat Skyrim. Skyrim does
He
not
meant
have
Elden
240
Ring.
bosses.
He meant Elden Ring.
No, I meant Skyrim in the sense that there's a lot of
No,
not
Skyrim's
main
not
story
a
bosses.
boss in every. Okay, how many? Like how many?
Why does the number matter? Is all I need to know. Why does the number matter? If it's a unique battle with where you're not just slashing something down, you've got mechanics.
You guys are defining it differently.
We're defining it differently. To me, a boss has to do with exclusivity, and it's like if even in these games, out of the 200 bosses, there are some that stand out or are of special class, are they not? There's 20 of them that are special in a certain way that stand out amongst the other 240, so they're not all even. They're not all even. They're not all even.
He's like, which one is the secret boss? That's what you need.
Which one's the real boss? So, in these games, if there's bosses and amongst the bosses, some of them
Secret
are
boss.
bigger or stand out, then those are the bosses, and the others are the mini bosses or just tough characters, in my opinion. That's where I'm at.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I think Meta wants to say something.
Okay.
I've been fucking muted this whole time telling you guys to stop complaining that you're just like, do you see how respectfully I disagreed with Neat? Like all those hand motions were like, you're just disagreeing. It's okay to have different opinions. That's what I've been telling this whole time.
Not when someone's wrong.
I thought you had a mosquito. I thought it was a mosquito because I've been
Yo,
sitting
I
here
swear it
watching
seemed like you were responding to me, Bonely, with some of the things I was saying. Because I was like, yeah, I can see mini bosses. I think they still have the boss criteria. But
I have a question.
I think there are milestones in games.
Yeah,
and
Zach.
games can only have so many milestones of progression, and that I can understand that if you have 200, it doesn't feel like a milestone.
Exactly.
So I can see that point of view.
That gets it.
Okay, I got a question.
What's the question, Zay?
Zay had a question first.
Oh, sorry.
I just wondered what your prescription was, Budo.
Well, I mean, what
Yeah, that's so
happened.
private.
I've gotten something that it's something new that needs to be. But the only TikTok that is really talking about and will tell you how to fix what's going on with me is the leakies. Just check out the leakies on TikTok, and then you can find out what's going wrong with me. That content will really help progress into
They're not bosses.
So speaking of secret bosses,
He is our
I do
secret
have a game the last one here that I would like to roll a clip on, which is Ratchet and Clank. And before we do, I want to just tell you before you see this clip, and we're going to skip through part of it because I'm realizing it's way too fucking long. I'll tell you when to fast forward, Kitty. But
He'll tell you when, don't worry about it. And he'll indicate to you with a Google of his eyes how far to go.
But to prelim this to you, the game
do
is
you not
over when this
remember?
clip starts. The
Do
game
you
is
not
finished.
remember when we were talking and you were like, "Oh, that clip's too long. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
He didn't worry
He
about
didn't
it.
worry.
Do you
about
remember
it,
that?
probably.
Do you remember that part?
He's like, yeah.
That was you. You said, "You know what? That clip is too long. Don't worry about it."
How slow is your
It'll remain a
download
secret.
speed? Can you not download
Oh
it?
my god.
It's like 3 minutes.
Oh no.
See, I have an emotional boss.
Kitty reacted like his hard
Oh,
drive space is
emotional
sacred
boss.
territory, and
Emotional
I'm impeding upon
How
it.
is an emotional boss?
3 minute video.
Okay, and Kay can agree with me. So
Oh, you
We-
can agree with her before she hears
Yeah.
about what it is.
No, she
You
knows
can
what it
say,
is.
I agree.
you don't remember
Yeah,
the
I
emotional
remember.
boss? Yeah, was
Yeah,
that not
Emotional boss.
emotional?
it was.
Are you fucking with me? I'm
Who's
gonna
your
come in there and
emotional
whoop your
boss?
Really?
Hey, by the way, your boss is actually a good boss. Like, I don't know why you're scared to talk about it because
Well,
it's
because you
actually a
guys
good
have all
one.
these. You guys have all these epic bosses. Like
Hmm.
you guys have
No,
all these
what's the boss?
visuals.
Let's-
Yours is a defining moment in a game.
Right,
that,
it
like,
is.
I am
It's
it's
emotional.
great.
Okay.
to find
So do you
out
guys know who
it is.
Edgar Ross is? Do you know who Edgar Ross is? Okay, did you guys play Red Dead Redemption? The story. Meta, out of all these guys,
No.
what?
I'm disappointed.
I
in you,
would have
Meta.
liked it. I know.
Red Dead
But
is
I
great.
saw
So-
Western, and I just like people love what is it called? The HBO show Westworld. I just hate Western themed things.
What?
I
It's
just
great
hate
game.
Western themed thing. The Golden
Like,
Corral, fuck
where's all
that
the
place.
toilet paper? I just can't stand thinking about it.
Wait, there's something that Neat likes and Meta doesn't, so I just want to point that
What?
out.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, Meta. Red Dead was like one of my first like ever games.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Was it a console exclusive
Oh,
Red
bingo.
Dead 1?
Bingo.
No, didn't they have it? Didn't they have it?
Bingo.
What the fuck can you say?
You guys just
Why?
noticed the big
I
ass
didn't think we
bingo
were
on
still
the-
doing that.
I didn't think you didn't get the memo. Neither
Why
did
can't
we.
we use that
Wait,
word?
I was there.
I'm
Every
I was
time
there
every-
last night. I heard it.
Yeah, but this is for
You
Neat.
over here bullying people though, like that's what's happening.
Yeah,
Bullying?
It's like, what did I do?
What are you talking about?
I don't
Kitty
think I was
bullies
paying
me.
any
Huge
attention
bingo
because
thing
I don't know.
pop on the screen. I was like, what the hell is
never-
Kitty
this?
bullies me.
Hey, we never pay attention. We're just.
Oh my god.
What is
So
that?
Kitty, how's that Wi-Fi speed? How's that download?
Anyway, so I'll finish talking. Okay, so Edgar
Yeah,
Ross.
what happened?
Okay, so in Red Dead Redemption, you play this amazing character, John Marston, right? And
Yeah.
you're
Bingo.
running around doing all these. I think it's 56 different missions, and at the end, you've already built this attachment to this character, and they kill his ass. They kill him, and you watch him
Spoilers.
go down. Yes, you watch him
She
go
didn't give a
down
name,
in
did
this
she?
blaze of glory, and he sacrifices everything, himself for his family. It's so emotional. But then they bring him back. Well, it's not really him back. His son. You play it from his son's point of view in the game, and then you get the big boss fight because you get a revenge on your dad's murderer by killing the guy who, Edgar Ross. But Edgar Ross was one that you couldn't really win. You couldn't win that fight because it had to follow the story to Jack Marston, which was his son.
I
So-
hate
It's
Forced
one of
losses
those
in games.
moments that really, but it's one of those moments that really stands out. Like, so Red Dead Redemption, I can't believe you guys didn't play it.
It's amazing.
Like,
game.
Was
I
it a
went into
console
it
exclusive?
expecting.
They-
No, it was at
PC
first though.
console, yeah, at first I think it was.
But
Yeah,
with
for a
it,
long
I went
time.
into it. I honestly thought it was going to be Grand Theft Auto on horses,
Horses, yeah.
and
it
then
was.
you get sucked into this story. No, the
Yeah,
campaign and
story
story
mode was amazing.
is
I
fucking
saw-
amazing.
Yeah, I saw
It
some
was.
Witcher 3-esque storytelling when I saw clips of it, and I regretted my decision.
It it is seriously like, even with the age of it now, because that's got to be what, 15 years old.
Yeah, and it's
It's
beautiful.
got to be an old
still a
game.
beautiful game.
Even
I mean,
even with the age, it's a great game. It's a great story. The mechanics are great. Like,
What
I mean, you're
console did you
riding a
play the
horse.
first one on?
Xbox.
Yes.
we played it on Xbox.
I think third generation or fourth generation. Which one was it?
It might have been
I think it first
360.
came out on
It was
third.
probably
I
Xbox
know we played it
360.
on
It was
360.
it was the 360.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you know, it was like, so that was one of the first experiences actually where, you know, Allie would sit there and just watch me play a game because
'Cause it
it's
was like
just
a
a
movie.
movie. You're just experiencing a movie. And I mean, it's so good.
It's like
Um,
your favorite TV show. You're playing your favorite TV show, and then your favorite character just dies. Like, I don't know. Did you guys
And-
watch Armageddon when Bruce Willis? Like,
Spoilers!
How many more spoilers are you gonna throw
oh
out?
my god! You
You
guys!
guys hear about Bruce Willis? You guys hear about Bruce Willis?
You know what game? You know what game was like that? Like a movie and things that they did a really great job was the Walking Dead Telltale games. Did any of
Mhm.
you guys play that?
Yeah, Kay loved that shit.
They were
There's a
really, really good and
Yes.
really, really thoughtful. You know, the
So,
whole story with the
$10.
little girl
Before
and
you
with
play
everything.
this, don't play it yet.
Shut up, Meta. I'm finishing talking about.
That was an
So-
emotional game. Only that was an emotional
No,
game.
it was a really good
this-
game. The
this-
Walking Dead
this chick
Telltale
down
game was
here,
really
yes.
fucking good. And you would
cried
have to
like a
make
little baby.
decisions. Well, you would have to make decisions on who lived and who died. You know what I mean?
Oh,
In different
wait, before you guys
situations in
show that
game.
clip,
And
Only there's
depending on
another
who you
game like
choose,
that.
different things would happen like that.
You guys
and,
heard
know,
of the
you'd have to
Query?
pick.
Have you guys heard of the Query or the
Quarry.
Is it
The
the Query?
Quarry.
Quarry? Have you guys played it?
Quarry? No.
Until
I'm trying to
Dawn's
say,
better.
Quarry
It's,
or
it's
Until
Quarry?
Dawn.
amazing.
Is it
It's
a question
amazing.
or is it a giant hole in the ground?
It's both because
Until
I don't know
Dawn's
what the fuck.
better.
I already done. You know, I think I'm the only person to kill off my boyfriend right off the first. Like,
Terrible at
Always
making
can
choices.
kill it.
no, okay, it's not even like
We've
that.
got our
okay?
confession. Get her, boys.
I have an opinion. I have an opinion.
Put
You know
Nate
what?
up here. He has an opinion.
I have an opinion
Everybody-
for Zay.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Zay.
Not me.
I'm
It's a
just
blank
gonna
screen.
say here, the quarry was not good. Until Dawn was way better.
Oh, I love Good Farm.
Oh, shots
I thought
fired.
it was fun.
Wait, did anyone have Neat doesn't like a game? Anyone?
Oh no! Shut. No.
Did anyone
Kitty,
have it?
Not allowed. Not allowed. Not
No?
allowed.
Don't
Ah.
play it,
Don't
play
bingo it. Don't bingo it. I didn't.
It's a bingo
consent to
shame.
this.
Well, what
So-
are these games? I don't know either of them.
I don't either.
They're just decision making
How do you
games.
not know Until Dawn?
The
That one was a good one.
Young boys.
I've heard
different
Until Dawn is really
responsibilities,
good
bro.
from my
It is-
sister-in-law
it is
who's your
really
age,
good.
Nate, but I didn't
I haven't
play
played
it.
that
It's more of
one.
your generation.
Until Dawn came out in 2015. It was so good for its
It was
time.
a good
Man,
game.
you know what I was doing in
You guys know how
2015,
retarded Kay and I,
young
right?
boys?
well,
Having a
we
baby.
played with all of our, it's all of us. It's my other daughter and my son, and we sit in the living room and we each pick two characters. And then when somebody's character comes up, they get to make those decisions, and it's pretty
Oh,
fun.
nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So,
it's
That's a good
fun.
idea.
I kill everybody, but that's just
that sounds cool.
So
You gotta
before we
let 'em
move
know.
on from the Telltale Walking Dead games, I just want to mention that they are on sale right now
I
on
seen
Humble
that.
Bundle for the next. Sorry, I should have looked this part. up. How
4?
many days is this? Oh, 6 more days, 7 more days. So like one
Steam.
more week, and the VR Walking Dead game is included, and it's $11 for that.
Wow.
Are you
And
Oh
fucking
my
kidding
God.
me?
all of the
Are you joking?
Telltale games.
That's
No,
a
it's $11. Yeah, it is a
Oh,
steal.
that's a steal. That's a
my
great
God.
I'm
game.
gonna have to get that
So-
Friday.
Sinners is
That's like a
awesome.
$30 game, $40
Yeah, well,
game.
in
Yeah.
every other Telltale Walking Dead game that exists right now, I'm pretty sure.
and those are good
so-
games.
That's awesome.
Really
And
good
yeah,
games.
the Telltale game is great. I was
11.
playing it with my daughter. We had a blast playing it. It was fun.
You
Well, the
played
neat
Eight
thing
games.
is you go
Shout
back.
out.
It's one of those games you can go back and finish, and then see what it, make other decisions, and it's a new game.
Yeah, sadly it
Mhm.
ended.
They
Yeah.
probably play great on the deck.
They were gonna continue it, and then they just stopped. It was sad.
Yeah, it
So,
sucks.
now that we've had that shout out,
Ratchet. Let's get to your Ratchet. Let's
so
go, bro.
so to premise this before we play it, When this clip starts, the game is over. So you've been spending the entire game trying to find your race of people because like the character is like Superman that way. Like he doesn't know what happened to his people. He's the only one of his kind. Um, and so you find out that there's this clock that's holding time together, and you can't mess with it because it'll break the universe. I'm going way too in detail. Anyways, you just beat the dude who's trying to like destroy time in the universe. You spend like an hour and a half doing it. It's a long, epic boss fight. Like the game is over, but during your adventure, like you found like one other guy from your race, and it turns out he's the one responsible for them going missing. But anyways, you can play it now.
Great content.
Great concept.
Oh, hi.
The main point that I didn't need to explain is the game's over at this
So
point.
that's it? What about the Lombaxes?
They're not in danger. They've just moved on. And we'll find them. But the past stays where it is. Come on, pal. I'll walk you in.
So, Meta, do you think that this game would work
You were never a
as a
sidekick.
first-person
You do know
VR?
that, right?
Yeah.
I always thought that you
Or do you
were the
think it would need to be
sidekick.
third person?
I think third person.
Where are you going?
First person, actually.
This is
possible.
your responsibility. You can't just walk
Spoiler
away.
alert.
This is
The
what I think is the
Lombaxes
outro
need us.
credits.
Don't walk away from me! I said stop!
And so, like, they make it so, like, a character that's helped you the whole time that's never had an issue fucking kills your ass. And then so you can fast forward from here, Kitty. You can skip water. Too much. That's there. Oh, no, that was too far. It's fine. Fuck it.
What was that shit, bro? That wasn't even a boss fight. That was a boss clip.
That's the worst cutscene ever.
That's because you
Where's all? Wait, you been saying all fucking week how much time you worked on your boss clip, you motherfucker. You've been trying to shame us on your boss clip that you've been working on. That's it, man. That's what you got. Oh man. What was that?
There was a whole middle arc at the end there where he dies fixing it, but no,
I'm
you
waiting
fight
for
him.
a fucking boss fight. I'm like, what is going on? You're like, the game's over. I'm like, oh wait, so like.
Hey
Not to
there.
go get into the
Wannabe Hulk trying to report the news. Yeah, there's been some cool news. I said it quickly before, but Final Fantasy VII Remake is supposedly in VR. I'm going to try to check that out so I can talk about it with some
What is that through?
knowledge. From his Patreon. You've got to join his Patreon, and then I guess he'll give you access from it, from as I understand it. He was hit with...
Is this a potential scam? Because it's just a Patreon at the moment.
I mean, it's sketchy in the sense that he's gotten hit with some things like you got to take some content down, but he just put this out anyways. So it's.
Is this sanctioned by the studio that makes the game, or is this a player remake?
Oh no, it's definitely not sanctioned by. It's a player remake. But he's been doing a bunch of others, and somehow he's been continuing to do it.
Hey, if Budo wants to jump on this grenade and learn if it's awesome, then
I agree with him.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, I said that. Here's on a totally different note.
He's pretty much got a cease and desist. He's like, nope, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, and apparently it's still working. It seems it's weird.
What? Hold on, I missed a very important part of this news segment. What game?
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
But
one of the things
at that. Don't you scoff at Final Fantasy
I mean,
VII.
what I do like is that
Relax.
they're saying it's doing something that a lot of us we're just talking about in this episode that we want to try to do is we want them to up the speed and make your VR legs a little more intense. And so when I read about this game, it was saying this is going to test your VR legs more than any other game ever. And so I'm like, all right, let's see what we got. I want to check this out. This is kind of cool. The VR game Gym Class VR, which is available on the App Lab, and I don't know why none of us have tried it out. It's a basketball game for VR, and it's raised $8 million recently. So that's pretty good.
What's it called? What's it called?
No one here even knows what basketball is. That's why we haven't played it.
I
Even
do.
Bonley. Not even Bonley.
I mean,
What's
I
up, basketball?
really do.
False.
I say that I do.
Yeah, no, Bonley. But
Quite a bit of it.
have you scoped this game yet, though? Like, at least, like, looked into it?
I have. I've looked at it, and I've looked at the blacktop basketball, and I wanted to get better before I play it. I mean, that's really
Without
what
the
it is. It's
recoil
like
of
I'm not,
dribbling, I feel like it's just gonna not feel correct.
it's,
No, that's totally
it's just not
understandable.
there yet. I would honestly, to go back to my earlier point, I would love to see a third person like
I can
NBA
agree.
Jam or something like that, where you're moving the players around and having a game right under you. I think the sports
And in-
From
sports
downtown.
is
Instead,
missing. Look, I
Yeah.
would play Madden in VR as is, where the players are in front of you and everything in VR. Like, I would play these sports games as third-person perspectives, and I think
and-
people would too. Huh?
I'm a fan of that.
I'm not shocked, bro. You don't seem like a sports game kind of dude.
No, I'm not a
offense.
fan of the whole like third person thing in VR, moving stuff around. That's just.
Do you
yeah,
play?
no.
Have you played? Are you a big Madden guy or 2K or? Yeah, you don't seem like a sports person,
Kidding.
game playing
but-
guy.
Swear.
Chris,
Now I played a
Bonley.
ton of sports games to a very high level,
So,
and
Bonley,
they could
my-
definitely
yeah.
function like that.
My big question for those sports games is I'm just trying to say this specific button that I'm getting it right. So, like, if you're changing from player to player, I'm guessing you press a button to change from one player to another.
Mhm.
So I could, like, one just mechanic that seems so logical to me that would work in VR is if you're looking down, instead of pressing a button, you could choose your specific player you want with like a click, like point and click, and that could be a lot more
It's too slow.
intuitive.
That's
You
too
think it would
slow.
be
Way
too
too
slow?
slow.
Way too slow.
they're moving.
You're passing. You're moving. You're moving. No, you would just play it normal. You would play it just normal.
I mean, I
Like,
think
just
he's
moving
asking
them
for
and
a
things-
port. He wants a port,
Just
so like essentially to have a
literally,
function of
just
VR, but use the
in
same controller.
VR, but playing it the same way. I don't even. You can play with the VR controllers.
I
I'm
don't
sure
think
you
there's
can
a way
find
to
some.
get the user interface in a way that would work quick enough with the VR controllers.
I would want to hope so. Like,
No. I'm saying you could play it with the buttons and with everything, using it like
There's
a
not as
regular
many
controller.
buttons on the
In the
VR
sports
controllers
games, you
as
don't need that ton of buttons for basketball, at least. I mean,
You do to
you know.
just like the different players. You need at least like 5 different unique buttons for each
but
player.
with the
that is-
VR
You
UI,
can aim and hit. You as you're doing it. There's other things I played where you don't need a button. Well, even that's 5 buttons. There's 5 buttons.
in VR
I'm using
UI,
it.
you can do things differently that you can create buttons on the screen that you can interact with without them being on your controller. I just think that there's a lot. What Boney's saying, I think I totally agree with. I think
Well, I said NBA Jam too, and that would only be 3-on-3.
yeah.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
So I
and
think
you could do
there's-
the street football like they had the NBA Jam kind of football that they used to have, which was
I
only
was
like
thinking like
4-on-4 or 5-on-5.
NCAA.
Well, I think eventually you would get there, but like you said, with a more a different type of controller. But yeah, I mean, there's
So
room
anyways,
for it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so that's cool. That VR. I think we've talked about it before that VR sports games it has a lot of potential in it, and you could do it in different ways. Like you could even intermix them. Like I could imagine in a basketball game, maybe you third person it for some of it, but then first person it for certain parts, like free throws.
What if we mixed like archery and soccer?
Not that much, not to that level, but
Or really
no.
disappointing robots in soccer.
Yeah. This is on a totally different level of news that I think is cool. Is there's an app that is being called Isness D, is a therapeutic VR experience that is trying to simulate a dose of LSD or magic mushrooms, a medium-sized dose. And according to the article that I read,
Yo, I'm listening. They're
just
saying that it's
what
actually
VR needs.
Now
it is.
Now it's a drug, guys. I can't wait.
And
to
it
see
has
the
a different
articles that
impact
come
on
out
your
of that.
brain. It has a different
And I
impact
can't
on your
wait to
brain than
see-
flat media. So
can't
I
wait to
mean,
see
it could very well.
And I want to
Is
say
that's a good thing? It's
no,
another thing
let
to
me keep going.
villainize VR.
Yes. No,
Let
it's
me
a
keep
good
going.
thing.
Because of the angle that it's going in. The angle that the game is going in is not just trying to get you fucked up, but instead it came
Budo
from
just explained it as it's LSD. That was his
Have you ever had LSD?
I was about to ask that.
I've had
He's
mushrooms.
talking good.
I've had mushrooms.
Not something.
Okay.
Can I finish though? Can I
Like,
finish
it's not right.
describing?
I'm
Can I
talking
finish
about even
describing it?
VR chat. Like, what they do with that? Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I am sure. Now I'm
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
All right.
So, anyways, it was created by a developer who had a psychedelic experience, which has been, very, most recently, Michael Pollan wrote a very, top-selling book about the different kind of therapeutical uses for psychedelics. And that is where this game is coming from, the angle of him having a very therapeutic, more experience with psychedelics. And so the game it's multiplayer, strangely, and you become a ball of light-ish thing, and you're with others, and throughout the game, it's described as much as I would like, but you will start to join together, and it will try to mimic the experience that some people have on psychedelics, that is kind of a meshing of consciousness and the kind of releasing that whatever, blah 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 blah. You could go on and on about this kind of stuff, but sounds very interesting. And as I understand it, the people who studied it, they really said that if I'm going to read a quote, is that a study involving 75 subjects showed that it's called Isness D again, offers an experience near indistinguishable from 20 milligrams of psilocybin or 200 milligrams of LSD.
That's awesome.
And again, this is all from a therapeutic point of view.
Listen to him. Like, honestly, like LSD and psilocybin have amazing benefits to your brain, and go into those experiences, rewire the way your brain works.
Kitty, let's be realistic, man. Let's be realistic, okay? You're in a
It's
state
not
where
about the
weed is-
trip.
No. You're in a state where weed is illegal. Weed
Mhm.
is illegal.
This is a
And people
VR
can't even
game.
people can't even grasp that weed is okay. And you're going to compare this to LSD, and you think that a news article, you think that like promotion or this type of thing, saying that VR can be LSD for you, is a good way to promote VR.
It's not saying it gets you high like LSD. It's saying it has the same therapeutic benefits of that amount of LSD.
No one will understand that. This is another roadblock.
it's-
If they start putting it out there, to me, it's a total another roadblock to where they could be like, oh, look, now not only is it
I do feel like it is
VR
something that
chat,
should
but
come
this is a
in
drug.
massive
They need to
drugs.
explain it way better than that. If you're going to tell people that basically playing the game is like taking LSD, you're up for a fucking can of worms with what they can.
He is
put
right,
out there.
There's
because-
other arguments though,
Like-
because think about it. Sorry, Meta, but like, think about it. It could be used to like argue that you can't overdose on a VR
Yeah.
experience.
You
You
can't
know,
overdose
like it
on
can be a safety
hallucinogens in
measure.
general
You're
anyway.
not giving money to criminals or whatever. There's no underground. There's no people being exploited in the process like there is. with
Unless you
normal-
buy a Meta headset.
Okay,
Bonnie,
my bad.
Let me. I hate to just completely quote something.
That's way too rational, Sermato. Way too rational.
I do think that people are going to there is a large enough group of people that will hear that and will think of that not in Like I hear that, and I think the amazing things they're doing with like psychiatry and like psilocybin with PTSD and stuff like that. If you've ever seen any of like those TED Talk kind of things,
Yes,
but
hundreds
a lot
of
of
them.
people will not draw that correlation. They will think that's a hard drug that's like heroin or something.
I don't
like,
have any
you're telling me
problem
that's
with
going to
it.
be like heroin. Like I'm not going to do like that. Dude, that's crazy. Like there's going to be enough people
Heroin?
The marketing is
Dude,
so
there are
stupid.
people that don't
You have no
understand
clue.
any of
People
this.
think that weed is a class 1 drug. A lot of people think that.
Yo,
like,
my mom
you have no
works
clue
for a
how
nonprofit
ignorant
that's goal is
people
to
are.
recriminalize weed in our state. Like there are
What?
a lot of people.
I'm gonna
So
need
he's
your
just like,
mom's
I'm
name
outta
and
here.
address. I'm gonna send her a letter.
You're telling me?
But let me do this quote. And first, I want to say that I never said that this was a commercially marketed thing. This is currently being used as a therapeutic tool for cancer patients.
So there is a bar upon entry to access it.
Lead.
I did not bury the lead. You didn't let me talk about it very much, Bonley.
That's the beginning. That should have been the first line.
It's true.
This is
It's
only
true.
being used for. You can't
It's
use
true.
this regularly. That would have been a good thing to interject
Dude,
earlier.
Kitty wouldn't have been over here like, what's it called?
No,
No, but let me point it out that you're saying, oh, but this is different.
So-
But I love this quote from this person. I love this quote. What happens in VR is that sense of completely forgetting about the existence of the external world. And this is a PhD that said it. I'm really going to be bad at pronouncing his name. Agnieszka Zakula.
Just say it's a PhD person from which university if you can.
At the Center for Human Psychopharmacology, while speaking to an MIT technology review. So then again, he continues. So there is definitely a similarity there to this sense of experiencing an alternate reality under psychedelics that feels more real than what's actually out there. It is already very similar to virtual reality. And
so
clearly,
let me.
It's a huge difference, a huge difference between saying they're using it experimentally on cancer patients versus this is something that's going to be coming out in VR.
His parents will hear that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I could give a shit if they're going to use it on cancer patients.
Dude,
That's what I'm saying. You buried the lead a little bit. I would. Dude, if you just said
But
from the beginning,
here's-
this is being used experimentally on
matter,
cancer patients, I'd say that's great. You know what I mean? That's fine. Sure. If people want to try that and they have cancer and they think it'll make them feel better, that's wonderful. But having something out there in general that would be considered using, that you can create something that can turn it in, that would be possibly put out there for everybody, would have been very concerning. Okay, so like that's a whole different subject for me. Having it done this way is one thing. Having it being just put out for everybody is a total other thing.
Here's the thing that excites me about this research, though. So I am terrified of doing something like LSD or even psilocybin.
Experience off.
And you can't turn it off. Exactly. And so the thought that because of the way it rewires your brain, that experience and what you go through, it literally resets your PTSD. It resets all these issues that people have. And so the idea that you can get a similar experience through VR, like this is really exciting for someone like me because I don't have access to LSD. And if I did, I wouldn't do it. But I would absolutely try this experience because I know I could do this.
Right, but see, do you really know? Because in the future, they have these other headsets like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, the ones that read your brain signals and start doing that. And if they start working together and then this technology gets merged with that technology, guess what? It might not be something that you can turn off.
We're talking about this technology. We're not talking about where it goes. We're talking about what it's capable of right now.
If he's saying it's the same, right? But if people are saying that it's the equivalent of taking LSD in general, then it could possibly be tweaking your brain in a different way than you just playing a game and taking it off.
If I can interpret what Budo was saying, and I could be wrong, I'm just basing it off of what you said. I don't think this recreates the experience. I think they're saying, when I hear that it has similar effects in those who utilized it afterwards as those that had taken it. Not necessarily that it recreated the exact same thing. Does that make sense? Is everyone kind of?
Yeah, that's the point. It's not that you got high and it fucked your head up. It's that the experience was life changing in a matter that affected that cognitive sense of all that.
Like to give you the way that it's described in the article I'm reading right now is they're calling it energetic coalescence, where users' bodies overlap with one another, offering a sense of oneness, similar to the feeling experience.
It's the Terminator. We're getting ready.
But no, so anyways, I
assimilate.
Yeah, I think this is a really.
Isn't that what people are getting sued about for VR chat? Was this whole getting too close thing? Now this
I got
is
drunk in
different
VR.
context.
Wow, it's so completely different. It's you really can't compare
I
it.
got drunk in VR.
That's good.
I got drunk.
Yeah. But anyways, I think it's a really, as we talked about with the surgery that happened recently, VR has a lot more possibilities to help people. It can help with
speaking
surgeries.
of stuff
It can help
matter,
with mental issues, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
So it's also very good at helping people. If I can just butt in for a sec, you said like those type of issues. It can be very good for people to get an understanding, to be more sympathetic towards certain people. Has anyone tried Goliath? It's a free download on Oculus.
I haven't.
So it's a simulator, and it's just a short story. It's similar to like if you've ever seen On the Morning You Wake, which is a really powerful story about like Hawaii when that text went out, the alert message that there was a missile inbound and like what people went through. But in this one, it makes you feel like you are this guy who calls himself Goliath, and it's based on a real story, and it goes through his life, and he has schizophrenia. And so like as you're playing, you're hearing the voices, you're going through the pain that he felt, the thoughts that he had come into his head, and it's like it gives you that perspective. And it's really interesting how it can offer those type of experiences as well.
I like that. That's interesting.
And finally, one that's to get hopefully not controversial. I'm kind of afraid to say anything now.
Why? These are fun conversations. This is good.
But apparently some researchers found a way to shrink a VR headset into glasses size.
Hell no.
Back to glasses.
You've crossed the line.
Have you seen the augmented reality
The
contacts?
scientists have gone too far.
Tested.
Yeah.
Just did a broadcast of it. They've got contacts.
I haven't seen the contacts,
So
and that's AR, which is still relatable.
So while we're on the topic of just crazy tech that's going to coalesce with VR, you all know what Neuralink is, right?
Yeah.
We were just talking about something.
Neuralink? I don't think we were talking about Neuralink.
We haven't ever talked about Neuralink.
No.
Neuralink is a company
yes.
owned by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
rewiring the brain
This
using
concept,
actual
yeah,
electronics
chips.
to
So that you
fix
can,
shit.
with your brain, affect things,
No, but that's not rewiring the brain. That's your brain rewiring
No, it
your
is.
structure.
Well,
No.
in order to do
The
that,
whole
you have
reason
to
they're making it is
rewire-
for people with diseases and problems that they don't have
Okay, so
physical
it's a different
things.
one. Okay.
So that's what Neuralink is. It's
No, I know.
designed
It's
like if
what
you
I
have
was thinking.
Alzheimer's
chip
and shit like
implanted
that.
to the brain.
I'm
Yeah.
going straight thumbs
But
down.
even though
on
that's the
Neuralink.
application, that
Of
type of
course.
tech, like just that type of tech is crazy.
Yeah. No.
So can I finish on what I was gonna?
Yeah, I
say
wanted to hear about
this
these
next one?
glasses. That sounds cool.
Are you sure? Are we all sure we can?
No.
Only if they
Hell
work with
no.
Neuralink.
Never mind. Now I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this. I'm just gonna leave as much information out as possible from now on. I'm gonna keep this as brief as
Why
possible
Dingo?
so that I don't
love
get interrupted at all.
I want the news to always be presented as a shade of green from now on. Because
It's
you're
feeling more
representing.
Did you guys? Did you guys see the lower third? Did you see the lower third?
The lower third.
With Hulk?
The news with Hulk.
With Hulk, yes. Mr.
Anyways, I mean, there's a lot to it, but it's tiny. I mean, I think the way that we can all understand it the best is that the MetaQuest 2, and I don't know why they use these weight dimensions, but MetaQuest 2 measures in at 503 grams. So we all know that weight. These glasses are
Can you
60
convert
grams.
that to pounds for people who
Yeah,
are
I'm not
in
going
the
to do
US
that. So
who use
anyways,
Imperial?
so
Okay,
it's
I'll
about
do it.
10%. Okay, go for it. Anyways, about 10% the weight of the MetaQuest 2. So that is, to me, that is wild. I think that, of course, these glasses are just strictly viewing. They don't have all
1.1
the
pounds.
Okay, so yeah, so that's great. But so Of course, that's not going to account for the cameras that are sensing motion detection and sensing your play space. So the gaming setup that we have right now could never be could not never be, but not currently could be that small because of all the functions that we've gotten used to for gaming. But they're getting there. These researchers are getting there, and they're getting there quick.
It's so cool. It also stresses me the fuck out because as it gets smaller and smaller, I know it gets more breakable and more breakable. Like,
No, I want it lighter. That would be really nice.
I mean, I do too. But like, when they first started making phones smaller, before they really knew their shit, they broke all the fucking time. At least now my phone doesn't break constantly.
I would like them a little smaller, but like I don't want them glasses size. I don't want a glass.
Could you imagine losing your console?
I don't want them glasses. I want them like goggles. I would say like snowboarding goggles or like
if they had VR glasses or VR goggles that looked like glasses, you'd probably have asshats that just wore them around to look cool and didn't even need them. You know?
I don't care.
Probably.
They'd be buying
What do
it.
you
They'd
mean
be
probably?
promoting the technology.
Just
I
like
don't
me.
give a shit.
Wait, those glasses are fake?
What?
Yeah.
What did you just say?
No, those have been VR glasses all along. He's the guy who made them.
I told you he was lying. He was lying to all of us.
Like, you gotta have the library glasses.
What do you mean? Those aren't real glasses, Budo?
I told you he was lying.
They're just blue light blockers because I stare at screens all the time.
Oh, that's good.
Here, I thought you were blind as a bat.
I just have normal glasses.
So I have some news. The news is that I was robbed of my Ratchet and Clank boss fight because of bad skipping.
I remember one specific conversation with Budo when we were talking about prescription glasses fitting under headsets and how important it was. And he chimed in and he had shit to say about glasses because you can't see if you don't have the glasses on in the headset.
No, that's not true. That is definitely not true. I may have wanted them in because I want the blue light blockers while I'm playing VR.
I have a question. This is the beard real?
Okay, now I'm gonna remove
Is
it.
the face
I would have lost my mind. I don't know what I would have done.
Right? I was like, what?
He just has like little hooks over his ears. He's like, "Whoop."
Anyways, I was joking before.
Interrogation. Really?
He's like pops
It's
his
no
arm
longer
up.
the news.
But I just want to say, I was joking before. I really do appreciate that if I can give news that makes us have an actual conversation. So thanks for the differing opinions, Bonely and everybody, and all that. So that was good.
My
So
unpopular opinion.
as always, that concludes Budo's news.
Okay, so now
Well done.
Quick moves. That was good. The news was good, man.
That's good news. Those we have to change the name from news to like argument corner or some shit like that.
I think that's probably correct.
Cool.
No, I think the definition of news has changed to that. So.
I'm still, thinking
fair point.
Maybe we should mute everybody
I just
else.
got here. I'm a new pundit, and I would like to throw out there that all of your opinions are trash, and you should feel bad. You should feel bad about your bad opinion.
I just want to say that this man made his face green moments before I turned green, so I'm pretty sure I know who to blame.
He's in on it. This is a conspiracy I can get behind.
Yes.
What I really do love is it somehow wasn't planned, but it really felt like it. As soon as I sat down, I was like, did Method do something to my screen? I was really confused.
You can't be sure.
He's so
Can't be
green
sure.
that it's making you green through your screen.
That rhymed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. This is separate from Budo's news. This is addition. I don't think
Fresh off the presses.
real quick. Fresh off the press. Oh shit!
Breaking news.
Breaking news. It's actually
Oh, the hat's back
actually
on.
2 weeks old.
Fucking serious.
It's actually
Make it big, Kitty. Make it big.
Kitty,
We're back into the serious fucking news.
get off your phone.
I'm doing important shit.
Oh no,
Hello.
Mr. Rolls has got to do it
Thank
now.
you. Oh shit!
So,
All right, here's
what's the fucking news?
No,
I got silenced.
I don't think anybody else is watching it in virtual reality, the HBO show, yet. But I just wanted to give, and if anybody has questions, you can ask me. I mean, we're already running long. I just want to say, it came out 2 weeks ago. And
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, why did no one say we've gone a fucking hour over time?
There's no
I don't want to
overtime.
say anything.
It's been like that for a while.
Holy shit!
What?
Oh
I don't get
wow.
it. What's happening?
What are you talking about?
We're 40 minutes over so far on our typical
Over
showtime.
what?
Our
There's
typical
no
show
showtime.
length.
Typical.
It's showtime right now. We've interrupted
It's
Budo again.
Showtime. Go, Budo.
I want to hear about
Okay.
the fucking news.
Okay. This is like a news review. Movie review. That's the intro. Okay. I liked it. It was a documentary filmed entirely in VR chat. More importantly, entirely in virtual reality. But it was VR chat. I'm just gonna let them keep laughing. I'm gonna pretend that I'm being very entertaining. That's why they're laughing. And I thought it used a lot of normal documentary tropes, but it worked well because it was in a completely different medium. It wasn't in person; it was all in VR, so it made it funny. I thought some of it was a little cringy, but if it wasn't cringy, it wouldn't have been VR
So,
chat.
cringe meter. What is something in other media you have found cringy?
In other media, you mean just like movies or TV?
Yep, I want to see what you consider cringy to know just how cringy you're talking.
Oh, just like mostly like reality show stuff, not normal documentaries generally. But
On your cringe meter, is it like super cringe or like average cringe?
no,
Is
I
it
would
like
say
cringe? You're like, oh.
no, it's not super cringe. It's just like, oh, it's a little cutesy or a little. It's not that cringe. If anything, it drawed me in really heavily. It didn't explain the intro at all, but it was just VR chat, and it was just like a VR chat experience that was cool, a good one, a good VR chat experience.
I started it, and I got bored.
You got bored. You didn't like it.
So, Kitty, do you remember the conversation we had?
Oh my! Well, what's
about-
this Budo for now? What did I say this time?
You didn't
Kitty's
like
in a
it.
nursing home apparently because he keeps getting bingo. But Kitty, do you remember the conversation that we had about how easy it would be to stream it in big screen or alt space for everyone? Remember how we both told everyone how super not a problem that was
I remember.
Yeah.
a month ago?
Yeah, I still want to do it, and I would still love to talk about the movie.
No.
with everybody.
I mean, everyone's got to like want to do it and say, let's do it. That's if everyone wants to do it, we can do it. You wanted to do it.
I mean,
So-
I'm down to do it if we pick a day.
Yep.
I do want to see it, so I am down to do that.
I would, and that's the thing.
But if
you're
it's
into
bad,
VR, which we all are,
If it's
and
bad,
and other people could think it's bad. Meta might think that sounds like Meta thinks it's bad.
if it's bad,
Oh,
If it's bad, I'm gonna stick around and talk shit on it.
I want to, and I
if
think
it's bad,
Mystery
it's gonna
Science
turn
Theater
into a
style?
drinking game or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
That's what's gonna happen.
I think it should be
We need
watched
more
as-
drinking games, anyways.
It's a documentary, and I just feel like if you're watching the show, you like VR, and if you're in the show, you like
Oh.
VR. I keep pointing the wrong ways, and so if anything, I feel like it is a celebration of the possibility of connections that you can make in VR, which
So
is
that disappointed
really
me
important.
because I was hoping this would be something more so that would draw people into it, not just people who have it already appreciate it more.
No, it's definitely made for people who don't play VR.
Oh,
But I
okay.
feel like you can appreciate it more if you do. Like if you don't play VR, maybe it'll be harder for you to get into it.
So how
But it
does
is-
this mesh with the LSD stuff?
If you've ever played VR chat, then sometimes you're tripping. No.
Jose and Kay, do you remember when we went to Movie World in VR chat?
We'll take that as a no.
I don't remember that.
Movie
Remember
World?
there was a bunch of blue-footed boobies, like the birds running around, and we
I
had
do.
to
Oh,
we
yeah,
had to
she
ride
wasn't
them.
there.
That was called
She
Movie
wasn't
World?
there. I was there. No, you
I
weren't
remember we
there.
seen a big screen.
It was
but
just a
not-
bunch of blue-footed boobies, like the
Okay,
name
no,
of
I
the
did not
bird,
see it. No,
like
wasn't
running
there.
around,
Did
and you had to
not.
get on the back and ride them. And people
How did we
running
get
around.
Yep,
this?
wasn't there.
How did we get to this conversation?
The show.
Googly Man is here.
But anyways, yeah, it's there's a couple of romance
I thought you were
stories
there, Zay. I know
that
you
you
were.
might that you could find cringy because you're like, oh, VR romance. I don't know. I think it's cute because we've all
Romance in general.
yeah. While we're just friends, you know.
Speaking of romance,
It's like become a weird friendship. Yeah. Speaking of romance, Katie.
Where the fuck are you transitioning that to, man? I can't wait.
No.
Where are we going with that?
But there's also neat things. Like I love that they show that there's a whole community that helps teach sign language in 8 different sign language styles, I believe, and they highlight that. It's just amazing. I'm like, wow,
so
VR.
what was the rating of VR chat when that documentary released?
Probably really high. No, I know, and that's the amazing thing. Like their rating went so down, and it's the worst timing in the world for them to change their mod situation in VR chat.
You mean how everyone in their reviews was saying how anti-American Sign Language and other stuff it was? They were coming to
it's
look to
horrible.
download it after watching the documentary.
Yeah, no, it was the worst timing in the world. I need to. Yeah. Yep, it was really weird timing. I haven't seen any articles about that weird time frame of like how that movie came out and then VR chat did the same thing. For whatever reason, I haven't seen an article about that.
I wonder if Meta has anything to do with that. They probably
Yeah, I wonder
really
if you do,
don't.
Meta. Do you? Do you?
I mean,
you turn me green. I mean, Jesus.
Somebody pay this man attention.
so I just gotta let you know that this right here, all of you conspiracy theorists out there, this is proof that lizard people are real. End the stream.
Also, please join .ash.
With penguins.
Yes.
Wait, is that a website?
Hey, what's up?
How many pages is that?
Check out that.